ch. 4. Loyal to a fault. // Nick POV. Alright, get off me you little gremlins. I yelled, trying to shake off the dozen Krogan children climbing all over me. Admit defeat you Xeno scum. My honor demands it, a little Krogan girl roared in her squeaky voice, lying down a fierce combo on my left leg. Kids, leave that man alone, Gorda's mother yelled. Never, I invoke the right of first. Nothing will stop me from tearing this human apart with my bare hands. She squeaked. So, I just have to defeat you? I asked. Fool human, I am Gorda, the future ruler of Tuchanka. The universe will tremble at my name oof. She huffed as I dropped a bag on her chest. You dare interrupt my cool intro with, what is this? Candy, I loudly answered, getting all her brothers to zero in on her, before jumping off me and swarming her. Ah, you idiots, can't you see he's using you? And just like that, Nick Walters wins again. I created the illusion of a cheering crowd. Nick, are you finished playing with the kids? Ayla asked, smirking over at me. At the moment, Ava, Sereda, Jack, Ayla, Rex, Grunt, and I were visiting the female camp. Well, Ava, Sereda, Ayla, and I were visiting the female camp. The second Rex stepped into the camp he was carried away by a mob of women. Grunt was going through the rite of honor, which was just getting a medical test, making sure he didn't have any diseases that may harm the females. I didn't know what part was honorable about being told you have an STD, but I'm not Krogan, so, what do I know? And Jack was asking the head shaman a billion questions. Is Rex back? I asked. I will destroy you, Gorda roared from the floor. Gak, tag, get your foot out of my mouth. I drop another bag of candy on her lap. You have made a very powerful enemy today, Nick Walters. Oh yeah, that's arch nemesis anger. I smirked at Ayla who just rolled her eyes. You would be happy gaining an arch nemesis, she drawled. Of course. I pointed down at Gorda. At the moment I'm far too powerful, but as she grows through her journey to be the best, we will meet again and fight over an active volcano. I of course will have her love interest tied up in the background. And where would we be in all this? Ayla huffed, hands on her hips. Furious at me, most likely, that volcano is going to be expensive, so I'm going to need you ladies to keep Telsa from strangling me. I joked. Can't you just use a waterfall? Ava asked. Less chance of lava splatter. I could, but it wouldn't be as dramatic. I countered. True, but there is a 100% chance Lady Telsa will use you as a human sacrifice to recover her money. At least with water, you might be able to swim to safety. Sereda teased. I'm back, Grunt huffed. How was the rite? I asked. He shrugged. Good, I guess. They didn't find anything wrong and I was cleared for mating. Freedom. Gorda escaped her siblings. Prepare for EEP. She jumped back as she spotted Grunt. She dropped her gaze to her toes and started playing with her fingers. Ho ho ho. What do we have here? I giggled. The mighty Gorda, backing away. Shush, shut up. Oh my gosh, she looked so adorable. I'll get you next time. She gave Grunt a quick look before running away. My heart. Sereda swooned. What's her deal? Grunt asked. I patted him on the shoulder. I'll tell you when you're older. Have you seen Rex? I'm here, hold your thresher more. Rex came rushing over adjusting his armor. Ladies can't get enough of me. It's the hammer, it adds. Wait, I pointed to Hope, Rex's holy symbol strapped to his lower back. At the moment it was the size of a normal hammer, but at full size it reached Rex's 8-foot frame. Are you calling me fat? He deadpanned. Girthy, I corrected. So, are the females ready? I'm not sure when Shepard's going to return from his mission with Morden, so I need to start testing and fixing this place up. I'm not going to lie, the female camp was beautiful. It had trees, a river running through it, mud huts, and enough guards to keep idiots from doing anything stupid, but I saw a lot of flaws. The river's security grate was rusty, contaminating the water, a wall made of scrap metal, and the sun didn't hold back in roasting this place. I could see the desertification already eating at the edges of the camp and affecting the crops. This way, he grunted, walking past some Krogans that bowed in respect. The children couldn't care less who he was but were in awe of his huge size. Some even bragged, saying the Rex was their father. Reaching a large hut, I could hear the muttering from the inside. Rex stopped me at the entrance. "How sure are you that you can cure the genophage?" 100%. I just want to test my potions first. If they work, I could just leave you with a crate. "And if they don't?" he asked. I sighed. "Then I cure as many as I can, and try something new. One of my greatest fears is that Touchanker itself will reverse my cure. I'm not sure how the council infected every Krogan at once, but I fear that the disease is still in the air, in the water, or in the food. Or maybe my fears are pointless. Maybe I cure the females and everything works out." "Life has never been that easy," Rex huffed. "No, it's not, but we have hope." I tried to lift the mood. He patted his hammer. "Hope." The meeting room was filled with over 250 females. Most were infertile and hoping I could do something, which I could. Strangely, infertility wasn't attached to the genophage, but it was a symptom of the disease. The genophage put a lot of stress on the body. Whatever Solarian created it was playing with a very thin line. "So," Rex asked, standing over me after an hour of testing. "Good news and bad news. What do you want first?" I sighed, leaning back on my makeshift chair. "Bad. The cure-all potion couldn't cure the genophage," I answered. "Damn it." He gave a growl that vibrated my bones. "And the good news? The potion cured the female's infertility. Any that couldn't give birth before can now, not to the same as if they were cured, but enough. Before it was 1 out of 1,000, but now it was more like 1 in 100, which was amazing. And the genophage in their system has taken a hit. It could give any of their children a better chance at withstanding the genophage. If we're lucky, it would only take 1 or 2 generations before the genophage is overcame. But all this works if the genophage isn't still in the air. Our best hope is that if Touchanker is infected, we could cure a female off-planet, synthesizing a cure, and then spreading it throughout the Krogan people. I just don't think we have that amount of time before the Reapers are munching on our fine glutes." I groaned, standing to my full height and stretching my back. "I feel like I'm just slapping a band-aid on a gaping wound. I'll cure the females here, add some healing runes to the buildings, and pay Ava, Sereda, and Ayla to start creating a holy field around the camp. You should join them. All paladins and clerics have the ability to instill holy energy into a location for ceremonial purposes. I'll drop off a crate of cure-all potions with the head shaman and then get started on fixing this place up." I sighed. Curing the females shouldn't take too long. Rex grabbed me by the shoulders, making sure I was looking right at him. "Thank you." I laughed. "You're probably going to regret saying that soon." He gave me a confused look. "Rex, from what I understand, you are the apex of male Kroganhood, correct?" He gave a small huff of pride. "Right." I passed him an ice bag. "Be strong, and remember sometimes it's okay to just lay back and think of Touchanker." The look he gave me was priceless. / Shepherd POV. Morden, are you going to try and kill Nick? Morden's mission was a cluster. Getting to Clan Weirlock took us a day, even with Erdnot's new flying Tomka. With Calrose being sighted, any outgoing vehicle had to take a long way around, trying to avoid any form of contact with the beast, and accidentally lead it back to their camp. The moment we got here, we were met with a flood of bullets and insults, which admittedly was a normal Krogan hello, and had to fight our way through a horde of bloodthirsty Krogan, Varan, and Vorcha for some reason, saved a broken Erdno scout, killed more Krogan, viewing the monstrous experiments of a mad scientist, killing more Krogan, and finally finding Mylon, only to find out that he wasn't kidnapped, and was trying to cure the genophage. This place is going to give me nightmares. At least we kept the data and Morden didn't kill his student, even if I really wanted to. No, all predicted outcomes of the Krogan resurgence ended in war, but no Reapers were added to the parameters. Krogan, most likely the best hope to fight back the coming threat. He took a deep breath. I do not regret making the modification. It was the best for the galaxy at the time, and saved many lives. But saw what females would go through for hope. I'll think on it, have cure, work on it during some breaks. He shrugged. Morden, I doubt I could judge you correctly. The Krogan people haven't exactly proven that they could be trusted, but they have also been shoved in a corner, whipped to fight like slaves, neutered, and then stereotyped to hell and back to make them look like monsters. At this point, survival is their only goal, and nothing is off the table. I just feel like there could have been some middle ground, but no one cared to take the first step. I let out a long sigh. What's that? Tally asked, looking away from the magic engine and out of the front of the Tomka as we flew toward the Erdno camp. Looking out the driver's holo screen, a huge shimmering dome was surrounding the camp. Nick, Garrus asked. Nick, I answered. That's a big gun. I pointed out a brand new RR gun watching the sky. We've only been gone for 2.5 days. Zaid muttered. Hey, look at that. Krogan farmers. I didn't think that was possible. He pointed out dozens of Krogan in what seemed like a field on a tractor plowing the earth. They even had those big straw hats. I couldn't tell, but they looked like shaman. Bumblebee, this is Camp Corbel. Do you read? The Tomka's comms came to life. The Krogan looked all kinds of shocked. Ah, this is Bumblebee. I read you. Head to Hangar Bay 1. They ordered before a dotted line flashed on the screen leading us straight to our landing bay. Whoa, was the only thing I could say as we lowered down the silo. Everything was fixed, nothing was crumbling to dust, the rust was removed, and lights lit the halls. Finally landing, we got a good look at the dozen or so brand new looking Tomkas, with engineers moving brand new equipment around the room in forklifts. Even the floors were painted. Tally, Julie waved us over. Oh, so this is what it feels like to be a sidekick. I joked. Tally elbowed me. Who are you calling a sidekick? Walking over to Julie. Julia, what's going on? I'm pretty sure this place didn't look like this before. You can call me Julie silly, and as for what happened. She let out a sigh. Nick happened. He always tends to go a bit overboard. You've seen the bathroom on the Normandy. The sauna is a bit much. Tally muttered. You guys have a sauna? Garrus asked. He looked over to me. Why don't we have a sauna? Are you going to use the sauna? I asked. That's not the point, Shepard. It's the principle of the matter. Things should be equal. He huffed. Don't you have your own fridge? I asked. I retract my statement. Come on, I'll show you around. Julie led us into the camp proper. It was beautiful. Nick wasn't lying about the waterfall idea either. There weren't plants that made this place feel like a tropical rainforest, but there were some small plants growing in designated flower pots. Everything was well illuminated. Shops lined the first 2 floors with clan symbols over the doorways, Krogan walking the streets, buying things or just looking up in awe. There was even a line for the waterfall just so they could get drenched. Walking past a shop, I spotted something that got my full attention. Is that a Rex action figure? I asked, pressing my face to the pristine glass window. Garrus was immediately by my side. Where? By the spirits. It was a miniature Rex holding his holy hammer. What are you idiots doing? Tally asked, walking over. I saved the galaxy. Why don't I have an action figure? I asked. I let out a small gasp. Is that a Normandy Senior 2 ship model? I didn't know that even existed. I need to get one. I rushed for the door only for Tally to pull me back by the ear. Ow, Tally, you don't need it. She stared me down. Good God, Shepard, aren't you a full-grown man? Zaid huffed. Hey look, there's a Zaid action figure. Garrus pointed out. What? Move over, let me see. He joined us by the window. What the hell? What's real laser eye action? Tally, you're also in here. Garrus pointed out. I think the whole ground crew is in here. Whose shop is this? Looking over the door, we found Clan Erdnot's symbol in all its might. I see you found Nick's little toy collection. Julie giggled. Toy collection? Tally asked. Julie shrugged. After he returned from the female camp, he talked about how few toys the children had, so he went a little wild creating a bunch, you're looking at the leftovers. He thought that this being a meeting spot for the Krogan that came from the other clans, they were willing to buy them for their own children. And people buy them? Tally asked. Oh yeah, everyone loves Battlemaster Rex and his sidekicks. She nodded. Sidekicks? Garrus gawked. Oh yeah, Nick and Rex even made a 24-episode cartoon series, all about Rex's adventures when he was younger and how he saved Shepard from Saren's assassins and taught Shep how to be a real warrior as you guys hunted the rogue Spectre. I'm pretty sure my brain was about to explode. Didn't you get the link Rex sent you? I immediately opened my Omni tool. I was busy being shot at. And there it was. The animation was well done, and the intro was cool, with Rex fighting Geth, Husks, and Saren with Sovereign overhead. Even my character was spot on, it even sounded like me. This has to be illegal, and why'd I come off as a complete asshole? Garrus huffed. I mean, you weren't the most open-minded guy back then. Tally answered, we're getting paid for this, right? I'll sue. Did you sue the council when they made Commander Shepard the musical? She asked. The what musical? I asked, very loudly. I looked over to Garrus, who was looking at the ceiling, then over to Tally, who was looking at her toes. Did my mother allow this? No one said anything. I need to make some calls. Anderson better not know anything about this. Don't worry. Julie interrupted my plans for revenge. Nick said he'll give you royalties. Of 2%. 2%. Garrus gawked. 20. 2.5. We both know there is no court in the land that Nick would listen to. Julie counted. 10. Garrus counters. 3. Take it or leave it. Deal. They sealed the deal with a handshake. I want a series that tells the truth. I huffed. Rex didn't save me by slapping a rocket out of the air. Rex said if anyone has any complaints to put it up on the extranets so he can ignore it personally. She shrugged. I'm going to leave such a nasty review. Where's Nick? Top floor. He and Rex are working with the Elder Shaman to enhance the holy quarters. Come on, to the top floor. Julie cheered, leading us away. I gave a quick look back to the model ships. I'll be back. You know, this thing is pretty cool. Zaid spoke up, holding his own action figure, flipping a switch on the back of its head that activated the laser in the toy's eye. My action figure better be just as cool. The rest of the camp was just as beautiful as the ground floor. I'm just happy the escalator was working. We lost Zaid on the second floor after he spotted a gun shop. How did Walters do all this? Garrus asked. And don't say magic. Julie gave a giggle. A miracle, she shrugged. In all honesty, Nick tends to have every utility spell that might exist. One of those spells is called Reparo. I'll give you a single guess on what that does. All Nick has to do is cast the spell and add enough magic and boom, fixed. What if it's too destroyed? Or missing pieces? Tally asked. Then he uses his construction spell. As long as he knows how the object is created and has the materials, he can remake it. He's gotten to the point where he can substitute some materials. Julie explained. That sounds incredibly useful. Tally muttered. Can he teach me to do that? Maybe. You need to understand that magic isn't so simple, and that Nick is special. Any normal person would take years to learn a spell to the same mastery Nick has right now. But do you know how long it took for Nick to get to this level? Less than a year, she stage whispered. He even has a natural skill to learn and teach others faster than most people. So, he's a prodigy? Tally asked. No, Dagna's a prodigy. Normally dwarves of Thedas can't use magic, but the moment Nick gave her a golem she was casting spells and creating runes on the first day. Nick is special, she swooned. But don't tell him I said it like that. I love the man, but he tends to get a big head from time to time. And trust me after this. She waves her hands at the Krogan camp. You better believe he's going to be walking around like a prized peacock, but I do like it when he swings his shoulders when he walks. She sighed again and looked out to the camp with a look that screamed, inappropriate. Julie, Tally shook her slightly. What were we talking about? If Nick can teach me magic. Tally drawled. Oh, right, now would be a good time. Nick is feeling generous. But I should warn you, Nick doesn't hold back when he teaches his students. Julie warned. He does tend to go pretty hard on Rupert. I pointed out. I saw him standing over Gardner's shoulder criticizing every little mistake the man made. He was only boiling water for maker's sake. Oh no, that was cooking. Nick takes his cooking lesson to the extreme. To him, learning magic is more likely to get yourself hurt, and cooking affects those around you. One of the first things you're going to have to do is grow your mana core, and that usually involves some rather strange methods, but they work, and you gain god-level flexibility. Julie smiled. That smile made me worry about Tally's chastity. I looked over to Garrus, who was looking over to me. Yeah, we're going to need to warn Tally. And we're here. She gave the guard a nod with her return, letting us through. Was his armor shinier? The top floor was somehow more prestigious and luxurious than the rest of the pyramid. The floor was hardwood, with painted Krogan statues, clan banners, and beautiful tapestries that told Krogan stories. Walking through the sky bridge, the window showed an illusion of what Tuchanka could be, a beautiful forest world filled with other metal pyramids dotting the landscape with buildings surrounding them. It did look nice, a goal worth fighting for. At this moment we lost Morden as he just looked out the window. The meeting room was just as luxurious as the rest of the floor. It looked to be ripped out of the pages of the ancient story of King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table. The walls were perfectly cut down granite, weapons, and heads of beasts were mounted on the walls, more tapestries that told more stories, and Rex's throne wasn't just slabs of broken debris, it was a proper throne, made of skulls, bones, stone, leather, and had some kind of light fixture that gave it an almost legendary feel to it. Looking up at the second floor we spotted Nick, Rex, Ava, Ayla, Serada, and the elder shaman pointing and arguing. I'm telling you that lime green wouldn't match the orange, we have a theme going. We heard Nick yell as we walked up the stairs. That's the point, we wanted to stand out. The elder yelled back. Shepherd, thank Calrose, can you tell these idiots to just pick a color? Rex huffed. I will destroy you, old man. Nick roared, being held back by Serada. He was sporting a black eye. You couldn't destroy wet tissue paper. The elder roared as his shaman brothers held him back, also sporting a black eye. What are they fighting about? I asked. What color of the stone under Vol's statue should be? He pointed to a statue of what I could only describe being a Krogan god made of stars. Next to it were other statues, one of a blue stone in the shape of a heart, another of some sort of deer, and the last one that I just knew was for the maker with the symbol of a sun. I even felt my power spike, beating back any sore muscles and tiredness I had from 2 days of roughing it in Tuchanka as I got close to it. Have you asked Vol? I asked. He doesn't care, he just wants his statue finished. Rex grunted. Why don't we meet in the middle and go with yellow? I asked the arguing men, who stopped their fighting and looked at me. Yellow, Nick hissed. You have no taste, your Krant must be ashamed to be seen next to you. The elder sneered at me. Learn a little color theory, Shepherd, before you go and embarrass yourself again. Nick sighed. Even a color-blind Varan could tell that would have been a poor choice. The elder added, I'm going to kick both of your asses. I roared. I was going to make good on my promise, but Garrus held me back. What gave these assholes the right to look down on me? You and what army? Nick yelled back. Yeah, should have seen this coming. Rex muttered. Enough, you idiots. He reached over, grabbed a blue tile, placed it on the ground, and moved the statue over the tile. You can't even see the damn thing. I roared. It's about the principle of the matter, Shepherd. Nick sighed, shaking his head at me. We will always know. Who cares about everyone else? I thought you of all people would understand. The elder huffed. I need a nap. Rex, is Nick finished? Can he leave with us? I guess. I did want him to upgrade the main Erdno settlement, but I know your mission, so I'm not going to stop you. He patted me on the shoulder, leading me out of the holy quarters. I'm pretty sure he was just using me to escape the room, as Nick and the elder went back to making some tapestry. So, how do you like the camp? Walters went a little crazy halfway through. Looks great. It gives me a small glimpse of what Tuchanka may have looked like. I nodded. Ha, if you think this was impressive, you should see the female camp. Nick spared no expense. Huge thick stone walls, purifying water pump, thousands of his little golems, he even healed the earth, were growing corkrow and potatoes. Potatoes? Is it okay to grow a human crop on Tuchanka? Won't that mess with the local flora? The Alliance has an entire department to make sure nothing grows where it shouldn't. Look around, Shepard. Do you see any farmland? Do you see any plants at all? Any fruits and vegetables we have brought from off-world at a steep price? The idea that we could grow our own food. Let's just say that there was a lot of fighting for the honor to be the first farmer in over 1,000 years. Well, whatever floats your boat, but this does look rather expensive. Seriously, it must have cost a fortune. You'd be surprised. Nick only wanted one thing. When the Reapers come, we would pick up the phone when you come calling. It was an easy deal. He patted me on the back. We have a long way ahead of us, don't we? Yeah, but at least you know what to do. Half the time I'm just jumping from one battle to another. I feel like I'm trying to put out a forest fire with a bucket of water. I sighed. Then worry not, 'cause I'll be standing next to you with my own bucket. He huffed, standing tall. And me. Garrus nudged me. Make that 4. Tally brought up the rear. Thanks. My heart didn't feel as heavy. So about this Battlemaster Rex nonsense. Ha ha, you like it. Walters had some crazy omni tool that worked through thought. It took us like 3 hours to make it just right. I tried not to go into too much detail, but the kids loved it. Rex cheered. Why the hell am I a sidekick? I should be the main character. I had to make all the heavy decisions. I pressed all the buttons. I had to buy all the damn equipment. I became the Spectre. I'm clearly the main character. I huffed. Ah, think again, Shepard. Tally interrupted me. Innocent Quarian new to the galaxy on her pilgrimage to prove herself. Collected data that proves Saran was a traitor. Dodge assassins. Has to deal with the seedy underbelly of the Citadel. Saving you from assassins. Exposing a traitor. Having to teach you Boschetets how to use an Omni tool. Saved the galaxy. She pointed her thumb at herself. Main character, right here. What ship were you on? Garrus gawked. He pointed to himself. Bad boy C-Sec officer that never trusted Saran to begin with. Saved damsels in distress. Master sharpshooter. Saved Shepard and you. From assassins. Fighting outside the law. Proved Saran was a traitor. And taught Shepard everything he knows about weapons. What the? I was flabbergasted. Did everyone save me from assassins? The three exchanged looks, before nodding to each other. Yeah, pretty much, Garrus answered. Make her be kind. You're all crazy. Look who's talking, Tally tisked. Mister, oh don't worry guys, I totally know how to drive this Mako. You drove us into the mouth of not just one thresher more, but 5. I needed a clean shot. I counted. I always thought you had some kind brain damage. Rex huffed. You acted like you never seen an alien before, asking a bunch of cultural questions, always had this blank look on your face. Shit, you also had the problem of asking the same question more than once. I wasn't sure if you were a master tactician or Saran was just an idiot. And then there were moments of amazing insight, never got lost, would find things behind crates, hacked a nuke. I didn't know what to make of you, Garrus added. And your emotions were all over the place. I remember you talking that Boschetet admiral down with logic and facts, and not 30 minutes later you punched a reporter. I hope you understand that every time I meet a new human, I'm ready to punch them in the throat. Tally huffed. I rolled my eyes. I have a method to my madness. Which is? Garrus asked. Always keep them guessing. I smirk. That's not a method, Tally huffed. That's called being crazy, and it hasn't failed me yet. I counted. You must be the luckiest human in the galaxy. Rex huffed. What's that make us? Garrus asked. Crazy by association. Tally sighed. It might even be infectious. The crazy or the luck? Rex asked. I'll tell you after we beat the Reapers. She answered. So dramatic. I huffed. Now if you would be so kind as to excuse me, there are some model ships calling my name. EDPOV. I don't think I like spicy food. The pizza Gardner made was good, but the jalapenos seemed to attack my mouth. Jeff and I were eating in the cockpit, but we shouldn't be, it's against the rules. The cockpit needed to be clean at all times to avoid food-related accidents, but Miranda was in the kitchen demanding some of the magical kitchen utensils that Nick created just for Gardner. Sergeant Gardner warned Miranda that the utensils weren't allowed to be taken by anyone but himself. Operative Lawson took offense to Gardner's refusal, and according to Jeff, went full bitch, yelling at the staff sergeant before taking a wooden spoon and walking away, only for the spoon to unleash a powerful electric shock that, according to Jennifer, roasted the nipples off her tits. Finding the smell offending my nose, Jeff led me back up to the cockpit to finish our lunch. When I pointed out that eating at the pilot's chair was against regulations, Jeff laughed and told me to live a little. It was interesting to break the rules. I kept looking over my shoulder to see if anyone was going to come to reprimand us, even though I had full access to the ship's cameras. Jeff, won't we get in trouble for breaking the rules? I asked. Not if we eat the evidence. He smiled at me, shoving more food into his mouth. But we still broke the rules. Will we not be punished? My new body has the ability to feel pain, and after accidentally slamming my pinky toe walking out of the elevator, I fell on the floor begging for mercy for what felt like years. Jeff later told me it was less than a minute. I don't like pain. Some rules are just here because some people are idiots. Don't play with fire, don't talk with your mouth full, don't drop the soap. Things you know are a bad idea, but someone out there doesn't have the brain cells to remember and needed it written down, ruining it for the rest of us. He explained, but if it means anything, you're now a true rogue AI. I look over at him. Rogue. He smirked. Yep, you just broke your first rule, making you a bad girl. Bad girl. I accessed the extranet, looking for the meaning, getting images of young girls being scolded by their parents, women wearing leather jackets sitting on motorcycles with tattoos. It all ended with a video of a woman tied up to a bed as a male slapped her posterior, calling her a bad girl. I snapped back to reality at Jeff's calling. Yes, Jeff. Are you okay? I looked at him. The male in the video morphed into Jeff for a second. You blanked out on me. Yes, just thinking about. I quickly looked at the room and spotted the comm light blinking. Who that can be? I pointed to the comm light. Why did I lie? Why does my face feel so hot? Oh Maker, he sighed. Jeff, Shepard bought some model ships. He groaned. Switching my vision to the shuttle bay, I found the ground crew returning. With what seemed like every model ship in the galaxy. That's a lot, I muttered. Get ready, Edie. If I didn't annoy you before, you're going to feel it now. Oh my, that sounded ominous. Nick POV. You bought too many, Garrus huffed, shoving some ships out of the way. Garrus, that is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard you say, and you once said you wanted to see the Normandy in a firefight. Shepard rolled his eyes, which was the only thing I could see thanks to all the boxes. I should have used rock. Garrus moaned. Shepard needed help loading his treasure into the Kodiak, and Garrus lost his rock paper scissors match to Tally and was forced to help me and Shepard while the others took the portal back to the ship. When I suggested we use my portal, Shepard got defensive, something about not wanting them out of his sight. Shepard, what's with the ship obsession? I asked. It was something my father and I used to do. With both my parents being career alliance, I had to jump from ship to ship, but my old man thought I wouldn't gain any friends if I didn't have any roots, so he took an office job on Arcturus station. We would watch the ships going in and out of the station and buy a model ship once a week and make them together. I guess the hobby became a habit. You make it sound like your father is no longer with us. I pointed out. No, he passed some time ago. The Batarian launched a surprise attack on one of our colonies in the Skillian Verge, by the name of Elysium. My first shore leave since I got into the military, Pops wanted to celebrate and Elysium had one of the greatest resorts in Alliance space, for cheap. That man was frugal, and didn't have a lot of money when he was young. Pretty sure that's where I got my money sense. Shepard, you bought Clan Erdno a new Tomka. I should know, I was the one that had to go find one out in the wastelands, fix it, and bring it back. Bah, it's fine. Anyways, the Batarians attacked, and me and Pops ended up having to defend the colony from what seemed like every Batarian in the Terminus system. He ended up taking a shot for me. Sorry to hear that, he seemed like a good man. I apologized. It was some time ago, and I got my pound of flesh. What about you, Nick? Any family? Shepard asked. Yeah, I guess, maybe. The multiverse is a strange place, Shepard. I didn't really get to choose to travel. One minute I was minding my own business, and the next thing I knew, I was standing in an open field. I doubt I will ever see them again, but I have faith they can move on without me. I suppose that's all we can ever have. It feels weird thinking about them again after all this time. I guess nearly 3 years of living on and Gamer's mind made me compartmentalize what happened to me. I'm sorry to hear that, Shepard replied. It's okay, time and an active life helped me move on and found a new family. And you, Garrus, any family? I asked. Yeah, little sister, mother, and father, not on the best of terms with the old man, but we've been talking again. Sister's still a brat who just finished her 5 years of military service, and my mother. Nick, you're a magic doctor, right? I guess. Have you ever healed brain trauma before? Of course, Thedas still uses swords and shields. I learned quickly to cure any head wound. One of my first real tests using my healing hands was for a nasty case of dementia. You know what that is? I asked. Yes, I did a lot of research. My mother has Corpalus syndrome. It is a rare disease that causes severe neurological degeneration in Terrians. He explained. You never told me any of this. Shepard spoke up. There wasn't much you could have done. She was already in special care with some of the finest Turian doctors I could afford. Trust me, mercs tend to have a lot of loose change. But if Nick could cure the genophage. I was hoping. Say no more. I waved away his concerns. Well, I would have if I wasn't trapped behind a billion boxes. I'll be happy to help. Do you know where she is? We might need to book a ship. Don't be ridiculous. We can just fly there. We have a ship. Shepard spoke up. Thank you, both of you. I couldn't see Garrus, but I was pretty sure he was crying. So, where are we going? God, I wanted to see Palaven. You only ever get to see it from its moon. Palaven, back at my childhood home. She didn't want to be surrounded by doctors and white walls. He answered, kick ass. Do we need to go anywhere after we bust out of our boxy prison? I asked. First of all, we aren't busting out of anything. Shepard drawled. We are sliding out of here the same way we slid in here. And secondly, no, we don't have anywhere to go. The dossiers on the assassin and Justicar only told us that they were in Ilium, but were rather silent. Apparently, they are both on the hunt and are lying low. We do need to head there eventually, but we have time. Kasumi has a mission for me in about 2 weeks, and Zaid is tracking down one of his jobs he needs help with, and the collectors have gone dead silent. Losing one of their ships has made them cautious. So, taking a brief visit to Palaven wouldn't be out of the question. We might need some Enviro suits though. Heard Palaven can get a bit radioactive. Maybe we should stop at the Citadel. Garrus suggested. You have arrived at your destination. The Vi called out from the comms. Thank the spirits, one of your damn models is poking my neck, and I can't get to it. Garrus cursed. What a baby, Shepard joked. As the door slid open, it caught one of his models, making his precious collection spill into the shuttle bay. No, my collection. Karma, Garrus teased. Shut up and help me, Shepard ordered, jumping out of the Kodiak. // After giving Shepard a hand moving his new collection to his room, which I had to expand, and added a larger desk for him to work on, he told Joker to head for the Citadel. Nick, Kasumi called out as gardener and I were working on dinner, lasagna for the crew, Some kind of dextro pig for Garrus and Tally, and astrals and skies usual. What up, girlfriend? I replied, checking the oven. I heard you made action figures for the ground crew, she asked, leaning on the counter. Oh yeah, but don't worry. I summoned a Kasumi action figure, still in its box. One of a kind, just for you. I passed it to her. Wow, so cool. It can even turn invisible. I placed a tiny invisibility rune that lasted 3 seconds before having to recharge. And this is the only one in existence. No, I have my own, that way the one you have is worth something. Also, I can't not have a full collection. Makes sense. Yeah, do you have any spy skills? She asked out of left field. Espionage. I have a few, but never really trained them, always been more of an, in-your-face, type of fighter. Why? Need a ninja partner. Nat's pretty good, I pointed out, passing Engineer Gabby a basket of garlic bread for her table. Not for me. See, I need help teaching Shepard the ability to blend into high society. What kind of high society? Evil or just apathetic? I asked. Evil. Nat was once part of the dwarven mob, but I do know an assassin and a spy. I'll give them a call. When do you need them? I asked, taking out a tray of glowing magic lasagna from the oven and placing it on a cooling rack for Gardner to cut and serve. The sooner the better, I'm on a schedule. Yo Shepard, how good is your seduction game? I called out to Shepard, who was painting one of his model ships. I can sweep a Hannah off their feet. He called back, not looking up from his model. He was wearing some half-moon magnifying glasses, a painted white shirt, jeans, and slippers, with a brush in his mouth and little containers of paint everywhere. I'm certain he would have been up in his room if Garrus didn't drag him down here. Is that good? I asked Kasumi. Hannah float, she answered. Yeah, I'll get Zeph and Lily here as soon as I can, they'll whip him into shape. I joked. Thanks, she smirked before stealing a cookie. Hot, hot, hot. She ran off dancing with her treat. Now all I needed to do was find 2 of my stealthiest friends. They better have their phones on them. Walters, a voice caught my attention. Yes, Mary, I asked, looking up at Miranda's perm. Nice hair. She sneered at me. I've come to understand that you helped the Krogans. Yes, I answered, passing Engineer Donnelly 2 cool cans of soda. Do you have any idea what you have done? She growled. Gained Shepard a possible ally when the Reapers arrived to kill everyone. I answered. You cured the genophage, she hissed, getting some of the staff to look over. Yes, and your point is? I drawled, taking another tray of lasagna out of the oven. The Krogan are vicious animals. And humans are horny apes. I can make stereotypes too. You can't trust the Krogan, she hissed. I started laughing uncontrollably, slapping the counter, pointing at her. I was having a tough time catching my breath. Yo Jenny. Did you hear that? Mary thinks Cerberus is trustworthy. Ha, that's the stupidest thing I have ever heard. She laughed with me. After a whole 30 seconds of unbroken laughter, I gained some level of control. I guess you're going to be the comedian of the group. I giggled, wiping away a tear. But in all seriousness, I trust Rex and Clan Erdno because I trust Shepard. His word is made of pure gold. Gods back him. Cerberus paid top cred to bring him back. People are jumping to join his side. Literally, look around. None of these people are here for you. Shit, some of them aren't even here for Cerberus. They are here because Commander John, save my ass, Shepard is here. So, if Shepard says Rex is trustworthy, I wouldn't ask any more questions. I'll just help. Just like that, she asked. Should there be more to it? Yo Shepard, should I help Cerberus? Hell no, he answered, not looking up from his model. Well, there you have it. I huffed, passing her a plate of lasagna. It's called trust. Sure, sometimes it doesn't work out and you get betrayed, and that sucks. But that doesn't mean you close yourself off. Humans can't live alone. It drives us crazy and paranoid, which then makes people avoid you, adding to your loneliness. Sometimes it's all about risk. Roll them dice. I shrugged. Besides, we both know Tim is just going to dump you for the latest model of super ass kisser the moment you say something he doesn't agree with. So, you might as well make friends. I teased. She rolled her eyes. I don't need friends, and yet you want trust. I don't trust strangers, Mary. I smirked, passing Nat her nuggets. Nick, Tally came running in with Dagna, Julie, and Lina close behind. Yes, there sure are a lot of people wanting my attention during lunch. We need hyperspace matter, she asked, drumming on the table like an annoyed customer, followed by her pit crew doing the same. Hyperspace matter? I thought you were still learning Galactic Basic. How smart is she? Oh, no, I just made a program that translated Galactic Basic to English and then to Kalish. Pish, you think I'm going to read a book when I can make the book read for me? She rolled her eyes. Shepard, your Aquarian is being all kinds of sassy at me. I joked. You get used to it, he answered, trying to aim lasagna at his mouth, while not looking away from his model. Man looked like he just bit into someone's neck. Just give her your money and advanced tech and she'll leave you alone. Tally eyeballed him. Shepard, how long have you been working on that ship? Shepard slid a credit chit across the table. Keela, she took the chit, like watching over a baby Varan. As she was chastising a grown man, I jumped into the gamer's store. The store is large, it has everything in the multiverse, so using the search bar could only do so much. So, when I searched for hyperspace matter, I got a lot of stuff, from Star Trek to Babylon 5, but since my hyperspace engine designs came from Star Wars, it was best to keep to the same theme. Wait, how much of this stuff did I need? How much hyperspace matter do you need? I whispered to Julie. She gave me a shrug. The blueprints called for 0.04 milligrams of coaxium. It is supposed to enhance the engine's power, allowing you to enter hyperspace. Refined coaxium 20 gold or 80,000 credits per milligram. Raw coaxium 2 gold or 8,000 credits per milligram. I just bought 3 milligrams of the refined coaxium. You never know how much I'll need after all. Thank the gods for Dark Spawn and Tels's terrifying financial skills. I also made sure it came with the correct container. I'm not sure how dangerous this stuff was and I didn't want to find out when it was on my lap. All I know is that Star Wars ships have a nasty case of exploding in space. All right, I called out, giving Shepard a break from being reprimanded, summoning a container with enough milligrams of coaxium for a single engine. Here you go, don't spend it all in one place. Thank you, she bowed only to stand in place. We just looked at each other, before I put a plate of dextro pig on the counter. Lunch? I asked. I also need an arc reactor for the power source. She pointed out. Oh, I placed a mini arc reactor on the counter. She quickly stashed it away in her runic bag of holding. She seemed attached to the thing. You couldn't see her go anywhere without it. Make sure to eat. We're hitting the Citadel tomorrow morning, and being on this ship for about 6 days now, I can almost guarantee there's some kind of firefight in our near future. I called out as the girls giggled out of excitement and ran off to the shuttle bay to work on their engine. I wanted to see hyperspace, but not at the expense of their health. Looking over, I spotted Miranda frowning at me. What? That's it. You gave them unknown hypermatter, without a moment's hesitation. She frowned. Wow, even when frowning she was pretty. I rolled my eyes. What part of trust do you not understand? I do not trust you. You are a terrorist. You kill without mercy if it means your space racist organization gets what it wants. Do you have selected blindness or something? Shepard, name one thing Cerberus has don't you will never forgive. This time Shepard put down his painting tools. Where should I start? Maybe with the Rachni and Thorian creepers they played with before they got loose and killed them all. Or maybe how they kill the colony on a cruise with Thresher Moors, followed by leading a platoon of soldiers they tricked into investigating and sows from the colony just to see how soldiers fared, and then torturing the sole survivor with Thresher Moor venom. And then there's Rear Admiral Kahoku, Garrus pointed out. Right, because Cerberus has short-term memory, they did the same fucking experiment. killing another platoon of soldiers using more Thresher Moors, and when Rear Admiral Kahoku investigated, he was kidnapped, tortured, killed, and then thrown into a room with Rachni to dispose of the body. But what I found to be the worst thing Cerberus has done, was what happened on Chaska. An entire colony, every man, woman, and child was turned into husks, just to see what it was like. He tisked, "Fuck Cerberus. Miranda, you should be the most grateful for my N7 training. I was fully planning on killing you and Jacob on the shuttle to meet the elusive, and if I didn't find any proof on Freedom's progress about the collectors, I would have killed you there too and left with the Quarians. Funny how things work out." His eyes were dead serious. "Shame too. I like Jacob, good man, made poor choices, but a good man." "Are you picking up what he's putting down, Miranda?" I asked. "I didn't know about any of that." She excused. "That's even worse," I screamed. "Miranda Lawson, you were Tim's right-hand woman. If you signed off on the terrible things Cerberus has done, I would at least know you were a woman of cold-blooded conviction. But now, I should fit you with a safety helmet and drop you off in the nearest government-funded home for the mentally impaired." I sighed and rubbed my forehead. "Sous Chef Gardner, can you handle the rest of lunch?" "Yes, head chef," I called out, taking out some ham from the oven for Sky. "Good. I need to go find some friends." I sighed, walking around the corner, and looked Miranda in the eye. "Lawson, we are not friends. There is a good chance we'll never be friends, but I need you to stick your head out of your ass and look around. Before I was okay with Sky and Ayla working under you for missions, but not anymore. You have proven to me that you don't know how to lead or think for yourself. You do not inspire confidence or loyalty. You and Cerberus will gain nothing from me. If I find you trying to steal anything from my family or threaten them, I will kill you and burn your organization to the ground." I walked back to my room, leaving a quiet room behind. Fuck Cerberus. / Popping back to Skyhold for a quick phone call, ended with hours of paperwork and having to promise Lily to think about meeting with the new divine, which was a thing. It seems like what's her face retired making. Justine, Sophia, Jinx, whatever, I couldn't care less, the new divine, and wanted to patch things up. I told her to take it up with Kalen. Ferelden has been slowly breaking away from the Orlesian chantry. It's not like Tevinter or anything, just more people asking questions, not going to church as much, and not taking their word as truthful as before. Some lords have been making the chantry pay taxes for all the land they have. This has gotten the chantry to put pressure on Orlais to make up the difference. This, of course, has been considered a bad move by everyone, but the nobles, with taxes rising to pay the chantry, the common folk have been getting more and more irritated. Farmers were losing more crops thanks to the taxes, making it so any leftover crop was kept for their family. But sometimes that wasn't enough. People go hungry, people get angry, people get hurt. Celine and Gaspard are now butting heads. Gaspard, with his pea-sized wisdom, thought war is the only way to help raise the Orlesian economy, causing their neighbors to bulk up, one of those neighbors being Ferelden, and with Skyhold being so close to Orlais, I added a few dozen more fireball turrets on the passage that leads to Orlais. Sure, they can go over the Frostback Mountains, but the Donner Party isn't just a scary story, it's a very real thing here. Mother Nature doesn't give two shits about your mighty army. According to my paperwork, things were looking decent, the city council were doing their job, there was now a cleaning department made up of Astral's cleaners, an official football league took Ferelden by storm after TVS became cheaper to buy, now every major city had a team, and I was being contacted to build a stadium in Danerum. It would time, but it would be possible. All I would need is a break from the Normandy, and it should be fine. I went down to the train warehouse and created and copy a laundry list of things Telsa said we were running low on: toilets, toilet paper, regular paper, ink, how-to-books for dummies, just everyday things people never really think about until you realize you no longer have any. Not gonna lie, put aside the dark spawn, that's where most of money is coming from. Sure, mirror phones are getting more and more common, but they tend to be expensive. Not everyone has a gold coin to spare. With Lily and Zeph giving me a timetable of about 3 days, I gave Aiden, Red, Morrigan, back the reign of Skyhold, and I hopped back to the Normandy for breakfast. The crew was a bit more sober, sure they knew Cerberus wasn't a good organization, but to be told how bad it was by their captain must have hit hard. Still, it's better to know the truth than live in ignorance, lest you start drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm thinking eggs. / Sky POV. I still didn't like the metal space box, too little, with too many landwalkers. I didn't take it. Looking over I spotted one of the Quarians. Ma, this new language Nikki's teaching me is weird. Why can't all landwalkers speak the same? Walking over I stood over the male human in the blue uniform. He seemed to have noticed my magnificent presence because as he turned to talk to me, he dropped to the floor in awe. Or fear, it's hard to tell sometimes. What the hell are you? He asked, crawling away. Fear it was. Great dragon, I answered. What do you want? The human asked. There is yelling over here. I came to investigate. I'm here with my thunder. I pointed to one of the shops. As a dragon, I am more powerful than all three of you, so I have come to put things in order. I don't think that's how that works, the little Quarian said. I looked down at her until she began to squirm. Can you stop me? I asked. Nope, she answered, backing down. Good, now tell me the problem, I ordered. Listen, I don't know who you are, but you can't just butt in on my questioning. The human growled. I just blinked at him, before quickly whipping my tail around his neck and lifting him off the ground. I believe you misunderstood the situation you were in. I monotoned. I am in command here. You, listen to me. Understood? I growled back, causing everyone around us to freeze. Now, tell me what happened, I ordered, dropping the human to the floor. That varmint is not 1/1,000,000th of a percentage of Nikki's strength, and he has the nerve to question me. This Quarian is accused of stealing his man's credit, chit. The man whimpered, pointing at the round creature in armor. And is this true? I asked the Quarian female. I recommend you do not lie. I know, ma'am, I didn't steal anything, she answered. I could not see her face, but her body spoke the truth. I turned to the circle. You accuse this woman. What is your proof? She is a Quarian, that's all, the proof I need, it wheezed. I squinted my eyes at him. You know nothing and have no proof, your word means nothing to me. You, human, what have you been able to investigate? Nothing really, but everyone knows Quarians are thieves and beggars. The growl I unleashed shook the metal under me. You are a failure in every way. I grabbed him by the throat again and lifted him off the ground. We investigate. I looked at the two in armor. Follow, I ordered. We went into two shops and found the round one's chit immediately. He seemed to have forgotten it after a purchase. Leave varmint, I ordered to the circle. If I find you harassing another person, there won't be a third time. The circle ran off at an impressive speed. I turned to the woman. She is still scared, weak, and trembling. Mine. Come, I didn't give her much of a choice as I lifted her with my tail. Where are we going? She asked. I would have to ask the same. Nikki's voice called out from a corner booth selling food. Nat, Kasumi, Neria, and Dagny were with him. We lost you for a moment. I shoved the mail for him to see. Failure. Oof, you done fucked up, didn't you? Nick laughed at the man. All right, ladies, I hope that you don't mind, but I'll be joining Sky for a bit. Gasp, leaving a lady alone on a date. Poor show Walters. Kasumi teased. Allow me to make it up to you. He waved his hand, his Omni tool flashed to life. I gave Neria 30,000 credits, have a good time, on me. He bowed. Thank you, Nikki. The ladies sang, waving goodbye. So, I suppose introductions are needed. My name is Nick Walters, smarter than your average bear, playboy, philanthropist, at your service, miss. My name is Leaviel Narea. Hi, it's a pleasure, ma'am. My Nicky never knows how to ease his charm. Hey, release me. Hey, bud, I'm going to need you to listen to me. Sky is a great dragon. Do you know what that means? It's okay if you don't, cause I'm about to tell you. She is the apex of strength and magic. She can, if she felt like it, crush your throat like Play-Doh. You are, in a very terrifying sense, hanging by a thread. So, I'm going to need you to shut up. The male stopped squirming and went limp. Smart man. Leaviel na rea POV. I wasn't ready for today. I just wanted to look longingly at some of the old used ships for sale. And now I was watching an 8-foot scaled horned woman. That made me question a lot of things about myself, roaring down at the captain of C-Sec on my behalf. The man, Nick Walters, was staring down everyone else with his glowing eyes, leaving the captain and the racist officer to face the brunt of Sky's rage alone. If I have to return to this office because of another failure, I will remove you from leadership and put someone better in charge. Sky growled, sending shivers up my spine. Is that a threat? The captain growled. I felt an arm wrap itself around my waist. Looking over, I found Nick giving me an embarrassed smile. Sorry, was the only thing I heard before I felt the galaxy fall on my shoulders. The only thing keeping me from dropping to the floor like a Hannah without their hover tool was Nick's grip. I didn't threaten, human. Everything belongs to me. If you cannot keep my belongings safe, I will find someone who can. Keeler, I think the galaxy is falling in on itself. I am going to die. I'm going to die here. Mother, father, I failed you. I'm so sorry. I shut my eyes tight. Please, I don't wanna die. Hey, I got you. You're going to be okay. I won't let you fall. A soft voice called out. I think someone was holding me. Easy, easy, breathe with me. In, out, in, out. The only thing I could do was follow the voice's orders. Great job, Leah. In, out, in, out. Now, can you tell me 3 things you hear? Everything was still fuzzy, but I could hear the shifting of shuttles. The voice hummed in approval. I could hear the chittering of a keeper. Very good, the voice complimented. And you, I guess. This time the voice laughed. It brought ease to my nerves. Great job, Leah. Now I need you to open your eyes and point out 3 things for me. Picking, I spotted Nick holding me. I see you. He nodded. Looking over, I found ourselves out the C-Sec office. Avina. I pointed out the Citadel's Vi. He gave me another nod. Sky car. I pointed to a brand new by 3 meters. Keeler, I wanted one so badly. Perfect. No, I need you to move 3 body parts. He ordered. I tapped my fingers together, followed by wiggling my toes and scrunching my nose. Good job, he teased. Thanks. Wait, how did you? He locked my mask into place. My mask. Relax. I don't know why, but I listened. My fear and worry melted away. I cured your immune system. Check your readings. You're okay. My mask started showing me my health, giving me the all clear. No infection. Who the hell are you? I asked. He just smiled down at me. It's a me, Nick Walters, magic doctor, chef, a bit of a jerk. This guy's crazy, and a man with a job offer. Ancestors watch over me. I'm listening. Shepherd POV. So, run this by me one more time. I sighed. I wish to hire this young woman so I can run magic experiments on Aquarian. Since Tally's on the ground team, I didn't want to run tests on her. Nick explained. Yeah, that didn't make it better. I turned to the young Aquarian woman. She was just as nervous as Tally was the first time we met. Miss, do you understand what you're getting into? We are on a mission that can be generously called suicidal, so you can understand my hesitance to have you join us. Wait, Tally spoke up. Why didn't I get the choice to stop Saren? You looked me in the mask and told me to report to the Normandy. Duh, you had assassins nipping at your heels. I wasn't going to toss you to the wolves after you gave us the data. Who do I look like to you? Adina, I scoffed. The fact that you were a master mechanic and an engineer was just a happy coincidence. What would you have done if I wasn't any of those things? Tally huffed. I shrugged. Probably would have had you work under Chakwas as her nurse, or watch over my finances, most likely both. I worked as a mechanic on the Rhea, and know my way around a shooting range. Leah added, great, another tally. Yeah, I'm 95% positive that every Quarian can create their own ship if they had the money and time. I sighed. That's a bit low, Tally joked. There have to be some Quarian children who like to play with plants somewhere. I justified. I swear if the Alliance became allies with the Quarian people, we would have the largest naval power in the galaxy. All we would have to do is give you a livable planet. How much political power, I have? The migrant fleet would never agree, not after the Citadel threw us to the coldness of space. Never again will we be under someone's thumb. Tally answered, cutting off any chance for a team-up. Yeah, that would be too easy. I sighed. Muz, Leah, you do know that I am working with Spaaace at the moment. She nodded. I do, Nick made it very clear. But he also told me that you were working with the Tali'Zorah. The Tali'Zorah. I looked over to an equally confused Tally. Me, she pointed to herself. Leah nods her head rapidly. Everyone in the fleet knows about you. You saved Shepard. What? Stopped Saren, improved the Quarian image to the rest of the galaxy by destroying the Geth. You're a hero. Me, Tally asked again, still pointing to herself. Oh, that face brings me back. It was Elysium all over again. Yep, there's even a human cartoon coming out about your adventures. A what now? Leah showed me a cartoon trailer of Tally running and gunning, with me and Rex close behind following her lead as she rushed forward, shooting Geth and husks, with Saren in the hoverboard, I wanted, sneering down at her, with an outline of Sovereign overhead. It took a second for my brain to reboot. I slowly turned to Tally, who was looking away from me. Ah, what's this? I asked. What's what? I don't see anything, Tally hummed. Hey, why am I not in the trailer? Garrus asked. That's what you got out of that vid. The fact you weren't in it. I huffed. I get 15%. 3%, Nick corrected. In royalties, Garrus continued, and the Alliance just put the N7 Valiant on the market. I need it. You need therapy, I countered. Muz, Leah, I must inform you that I cannot pay you for being part of my crew. Oh, that's okay, Mr. Walters is already paying me. Leah cheered. Nick gave me a thumbs up. Do I want to know? I asked him. 150,000 credits, 1 pound of potassium, 1 mini-arc reactor, and 1 full closet of clothes. He shrugged. I'm pretty sure I forgot how to breathe. Where did you get so much money? Garrus asked for me. What do you think I was doing with all the guns and armor I was collecting? David has been buying everything I've been bringing in. I even had Tally look over all the Geth bots I picked up. The Alliance pays top cred for all that stuff. Is that what you did with the Colossus? I asked. He shrugged. Grunt didn't want the body, so I sold it. The Alliance representative Anderson led me to practically ripped it out of my hands and threw money at me to go away. Yeah, Geth have self-destruct systems. Tally answered. A mostly intact Geth Colossus's body would have any military chomping at the chance to work with it. I hope you don't mind, but how much did you sell it for? Nick hummed. 750,000 credits, a little under 50,000 for all the guns and armor, and getting an okay trickle from different advertisements that play in between the episodes. Just for my peace of mind, how much is that? Garrus asked. About 40,000 a week. The Alliance likes the positive PR they're getting with the younger crowd and are paying top cred per Alliance commercial. Goes to show cartoons are where the real money is at. Nick teased. Is that per show? Garrus asked, doing some mind calculations. Yep. I'm trying to get Anderson to sell me his stories during the First Contact War, and some of his N7 adventures. Hey, do you know someone named Alec Ryder? David told me they served together, N7, I've been trying to find him. David won't play ball unless Ryder agrees. Nick asked me. I shook my head. No, while there aren't a lot of N7 graduates, any of us that did pass were split apart and placed as leaders in our own units. If an N7 doesn't want to be found, we can disappear into the ether. I would start with family, if he has any. I let out another sigh. I need to focus. Ms. Leah, if you wish to join us, know that there's a chance that you may not return. Are you okay with that? She gave a nod. Yes, Commander. She gave me Aquarian salute. Well, I gambled with Aquarian before, and it saved my rump more than once. Welcome aboard. We shook on it. I've transferred you the money and we can find someone to deliver the Potassium and arc reactor to the migrant fleet if you want. Come, let's go window shopping. Nick led her and Sky away. Why don't you take us window shopping? Tally asked. I looked down at her and pinched her cheeks. The adventures of Talizora. I gritted my teeth into a smile. Ah, it hurts. My face. Your fingers are way too rough. It's called moisturizer. I pinched harder. Ah, don't be angry at my creative genius. I sighed and let go of her face. Ow, she squeaked. At least tell me that you didn't make me look like an idiot. Never, just slightly incompetent when it came to Omni tools. Garrus comes out as an idiot. She huffed, rubbing her cheeks. Hey, Garrus squawked. That's fine then, let's get these Enviro suits to the Normandy. That's not fine, my sister's probably going to watch that. Oof, that's rough, buddy. I teased. Miranda Lawson POV. Walters is a damn fool. Another Quarian in humanity's most advanced warship. And this is the kitchen. If you ever need anything and I'm not here, this green fridge here has all the dextro food. Nick said, giving the Quarian a tour. This was ridiculous. Shepard. I hiss at the commander, who was working on another of his models while eating a bowl of nachos, all that hard work to sculpt his perfect body and he pisses it all away. Make it quick. I got magic training soon. Wow, he took that crazy sentence in stride. Another Quarian, I questioned. Yep, I can see. He answered, not looking away from his model. Why is she here? The same reason Zaid is here, money. He answered, uncaring of the world around us. And how much are you paying her? I didn't approve of any hiring money. Nothing, Nick is fronting the bill. He explained, leaning back and allowing his paint to dry. I don't even know why you're upset. Quarians are some of the best engineers in the galaxy. Tally has already whipped Donnie and Gabby into shape, and she's only been here for 4 days and 2 of those were on touch anchor. I didn't debrief her, nor should you. She's not part of the ground crew, and since I'm captain I did the interview and explained our mission. I also had Edie give me a background check. She's cleared, no more than some Dick C. Sec officer marking her vagrancy. He sighed. It's getting to that time. GM1, can you return this to my cabin? He asked one of Nick's robot maids, why are they wearing French-made outfits? Of course, Command Air. The maid answered in an outrageous French accent. He sighed again and walked towards the elevator. Why are you wearing that? I didn't see it at first with him sitting down. Nick made me wear them. They're a bit tight, I'll say. He was wearing skin-tight short shorts with a white t-shirt that left very little to the imagination. Hey, Commander, Engineer Donnelly called out. Can you not? I'm not ashamed of my body, but damn man, wear a baggy shirt at least. Work out more, Donnie, or Gabby's eyes might wander. Shepard teased, causing Donnelly to start stuttering and coughing, trying to make up an excuse, but Shepard was already on the move. I quickly followed him into the elevator. Shepard, what are we going to do with Walters? I asked. We can't let that man do what he wishes. He's adding people to the ship, contradicting orders. He even made Gardner into his puppet. The elevator dinged as we reached the shuttle bay. Kina, Moreau, Edie, Gotu, Broska, Zora, Sarana, Erdno, the Tabriz twins, the Hope sisters, and the dragons were already down here. They were all wearing the same outfit Shepard was wearing, except the woman who also had sport brass. I don't know, Nick hasn't really gone against any of my orders, and has been making the crew as comfortable as possible. Have you seen the new crew quarters? I've seen 5-star hotels with worse rooms, and I'm pretty sure the bar blows anything in this galaxy out of the water. All Garrus thinks about is having a shootout in the room. I'm not sure you know, but that is high praise. He can't be trusted, I stated. He gave me a long look. You wanted to put a control chip in my brain. He loomed over me. You wanted to take away my freedom and turn me into a tool. You and your father are more alike than you think. How dare he? I am nothing like him. What I'm doing is for the betterment of humanity, not to boost my ego. I wanted nothing more than to slap the stupid off his face. I'm here, Walters called out, wearing the same outfit as everyone else, with the Quarian and his dwarf apprentice next to him wearing the same ridiculous outfit. Lawson, is there something I can help you with? Gasp. Are you here to work out with us? I should warn you. You look ridiculous. Me, have you seen yourself? He grabbed the edge of his short shorts, stretching them out a bit, showing off its elasticity. Please, this thing has enough runes to give me comfort, healing, and protection. You can take a bullet to the crotch and walk that shit off. Your onesie just looks impractical. It's made of a tough malleable plastic ceramic, creating a hard suit. It's not even on the market. I hissed. And the boob window? He asked. Shut up. That's about right. He laughed. All right, ladies and the rest of you, allow me to introduce my friend Leoviel Rea. She's new to the engineering crew. Vial gave a small bow. It's nice to meet you. Ugh, this is supposed to be a human ship, a human operation. I understood that some of the ground crew would be aliens, but they are the best of the best, trained and proven to be masters of their fields, but her. She's just a girl. Watching the meet and greet annoyed me more than it should have. Nearly a month on this ship, being a pillar of strength, working for my respect, and then a damn dimensional wizard messes with the ship's order in less than a week. Alright, let's get started. Dagna, you got the newbies, Lear, Joker, and Edie with me. Jack, you have Grunt, and everyone else you have your routine. Lawson, are you going to join us? Or just stand there looking like a dead fish? Nick drawled. I tisked and walked away. I'll have a better view on the 4th floor. Nick POV. I had Edie and Joker speed walking. They need to learn to walk before they can run. Leah was given a full workout testing her endurance, strength, balance, and flexibility, followed by some sports that tested limb-eye coordination like volleyball, soccer, baseball, even a game of urban combat using paintballs. After that, we played games of chance and thought, like poker, I Spy, and 20 questions, and we closed the day with some cool-down stretches, much to some of the newcomers' embarrassment. Nick, do we need to stretch like this? Tally muttered, having a hard time due to her legs. Yep, when not using a focus, like a wand or a staff, magic uses the body as the next possible focus. Change, I ordered, twisting into a new pose. If your body cannot handle the raw power, the spell could fail or worse, lose focus and become what many call wild magic. I explained. Wild magic, Kasumi was taking to this like a fish to water. Yep, things get dangerous then. A firebolt could change into a fireball, draining you of power while causing unwanted damage, change, and that's if you're lucky. Magic isn't a toy. You're bending reality around you. The impossible becomes possible. You can teleport 500 feet down. I looked down to my feet. You don't want that. Or you can see into the future, but your possible deaths. Shit, you can turn into a fruit. Magic is ridiculous at the best of times. The last thing you need is to have a loose grip on it. Change, I ordered. And how do these stretches help? Leah asked, having far more trouble than Tally due to not training to be a soldier. There are two places magic is stored, the brain and just below the stomach. Since you can't really strengthen your brain, working the body to be able to expand your core is more straightforward. I answered. So, I have a magic organ now? Tally asked. I gave a soft chuckle. Kind of, it's more like a concentration of magic that feeds into your body. I have no doubt some species might have one, but not for most. When you pass, it tends to dissipate, no longer having a living host. If you're truly powerful, it might snap you back to life. You make it sound like it's alive, Shepard pointed out. Change, some say it is. They say magic pairs with mortals so it can become stronger, so when you die the mana you grew dissipates back to the realm of magic, making it bigger and stronger, making it easier for others to gain more magic. John, your child would likely have magic because you have magic. It's not a guarantee, but the chances are very high. Change. My ass was now up in the air. I should also warn you, magic tends to blur the lines between species. What's that mean? He asked. He means me, Ayla answered. I'm half human, on my mother's side, my father was an elf. Two different races. So, make sure you wear protection. That goes for you too, Tally, and you, Kasumi. She teased. And we haven't even gotten to Chi. Julie laughed. Okay, and we're done for the day, hit the showers. I ordered. Ugh, why do I have to do this? Joker complained, slowly getting up. Oh, Joker, complain all you want now, but you'll be thanking me in the future. Trust me, ladies love a flexible man. I teased. We can reach places others can't. He rolled his eyes at me. Thank the maker, I can now be bent over when I take a pounding. I'm sure Edie will be gentle on you. I joked. Don't worry, Jeff, I have a vibration function, so I don't require too much thrusting. That's a joke, Edie deadpanned. That got me dying. Joker reached over, cupped Edie's cheeks together, and gently mushed them. Haven't you gotten a little too cocky for a lowly co-pilot? She retaliated by pinching his cheeks. I learned from the best. Evil be kind. Jack groaned, shoving them into the elevator. Just bone already. She pressed the button for the CIC and let them ride up alone. I got 2 weeks, she bet. Please, Joker's still a virgin, he needs to build up to it, 3 months. I counter. Edie will explode by then. Julie added, 4 days, tops. Edie just got her body and is ready to use it. Guys please, Shepard huffed. He isn't going to last the week. Joker isn't really going to sleep with her, is he? Tally asked. We just looked at her. Oh, you poor innocent cupcake. Nat sighed. Tally, you do know the only thing that stopped him from making love to the first Normandy was the fact that it was a ship. That's no longer an excuse. Shepard explained. But she's synthetic. Tally, let me tell you something about men. We tend to be idiots for a pretty face, just look at her. I jutted my thumb at Jack. When I first met her, she beat me up, and then batted her eyelashes at me, causing me to fall head over heels for her. I gave a dramatic swoon. You were standing over me like a creep, she huffed. True, but as you can see, she didn't deny her eyelash batting. Jack shrugged. You knew how to cook. The fact that I fell in love was a nice bonus. So, Edie is using Joker? Tally asked. 100%. I nodded. Edie knows that Joker is one of, if not the, best pilots in the galaxy. She knows that Joker would die for this ship, he would die for her. So why not make the Normandy his home, a place he feels safe? But, wouldn't that make any relationship they have fake? Lear asked. Not all relationships start with love and passion. Some start as obligations or proximity or maybe even for safety. Neria was pretty much using me as a shield against a crazy religious organization. I pointed out. And then I was introduced to warm showers and beds that held you like a loving mother. Neria sighed. Yeah, I wasn't going anywhere. It didn't hurt that everyone in Mother Base was strangely good looking. I blame the food, I teased. You cooked the food. Dagna rolled her eyes. I smirked. I know, what you put in my food, Walters. Dagna teasingly huffed, sticking her chin out at me. Oh, you know me. A little bit of spice, a dash of love, a whole lot of magic. We laughed like crazies together. Is he always like this? Lear asked. Give it time, Julie teased. You did sell your body to him. Did you have to say it like that? She groaned. I gave a relaxing sigh. At the end of the day, Tally, who are we to tell someone who to love? Just wish them luck and be there if things don't work. Unless they're crazy, Kasumi added. I snapped my fingers. Right, let them love whoever they want unless they're crazy. Give them a warning, and if they ignore you, you get to tell them you told them so when, not if, that relationship implodes. Nothing short of your loved one telling you they love you feels as good. Seems kinda petty, Tally muttered. It's incredibly petty, but if they're your friend, they'll take it to the chin, and allow you to help them to their feet. I sighed, just thinking about being vindicated. But what if you're wrong and they live happily ever after? Leah asked. And there's the gamble, high risk, high reward. Ayla sighed. You wanna make assumptions, get ready to swallow your pride and apologize if you're wrong. Otherwise, you'll move from petty to vindictive, and that just makes you a toxic person. So, I should just let their relationship continue? Tally asked. I shrugged. Can you stomach apologizing to Edie? I don't know. Then just wish them luck. Julie patted her on the back, as the elevator opened. Come on, I'll wash your back. The smirk Julie had would have been better on a Cheshire cat, as the elevator closed. You can tell me what all the bio-enhancers do. Jack added, joining them in the elevator, pushing Leah with them. Kasumi, can you make sure Julie and Jack don't take it too far? I asked. I would ask these ladies, but they're weak to their machinations. I can't tell you how many times I asked him to watch over those two only to find them neck deep in their tomfoolery. Look who's talking, mister, it's only one kiss. Neria huffed. I never said that my will was any stronger. I teased. Kasumi gave us a giggle. You're the worst. Palawan was beautiful. If you love geometry and the color of steel, everything from the streets to the buildings was in perfect order. Even their rivers were shaped into straight lines and perfect right angles. Everything has a place, and everything was in its place. It was a bit jarring if I was honest, but no less beautiful. You, okay? I asked Garrus. He's been a little jumpy, playing with his hands, muttering, tapping his feet. Yes, I'm okay. You're not very good at lying, are you? Ayla teased. At the moment, Garrus, Shepard, Tally, Ayla, Jack, and I were in the Kodiak flying over Cyprietine, the capital city of all Palawan. Well, I call it a city, but it was way bigger than that. A metropolis. What's bigger than a metropolis? A mega metropolis, a super duper metropolis, maximum over metropolis. Call it whatever you want, it was big. I don't think I could live in a city like this. Just looking at it made me feel claustrophobic. It's been some time since I've been here, and I and my father haven't been on the best of terms. He sighed. Maybe you should tell him everything that's going on. Jack suggested. If the Reapers are coming, you should tell him. From the codex I've read, the Turian hierarchy is the largest military in the galaxy. Wouldn't the Reapers attack here first? The shuttle was quiet. Well, shit, Garrus hissed. Apparently, the idea that the Reapers would attack Palawan straight away didn't really come to the forefront. With Earth being a close second, I added. The Asari and Solarians rely heavily on the Turian fleet. If the Turians lose, they can be picked off at the Reapers' leisure. Tally sighed. And my people don't even have a homeworld. If they attack the live ships, it's over. Let's do one thing at a time, curing Garrus's mom, collect the rest of our team, defeat the Collectors, and then the Reapers. Shepard shrugged. Simple. I like it. I laughed. We have reached your destination. The Vi called out, as the dampeners shut off, letting us feel Palawan gravity. All right, let's go. Jack cheered, hopping out of the shuttle first. I had to make a few modifications to her enviro suit, making a section for her tail. Whoa, there's a tree. I pointed out. Garrus's family home was rather nice, 2-story, porch, bench swing. His father made good money to have this place. Garrus gave me a confused look. Yeah, did you think Palawan didn't have any? I mean, can you blame me? Most of the city is metal. I shrugged. We're out in the suburbs. Dad wanted a nice place to retire. He took a deep breath. Just let me do all the talking. We watched Garrus take the lead. Garrus did tell his dad we would be here, right? I whispered to Shepard. Ah, was his answer. Garrus, came a female voice from the door. No, the answer is no. Shepard sighed. That explains the guy on the second floor pointing a sniper at my melon. We slowly looked up to see an older Turian putting away the weapon. You think I'll be that crazy one day? I asked, waving up at him. Nick, you would have put an RR gun on the roof, with a pair of machine guns on the lawn. Ayla deadpanned. I know, the idea that I would use a single sniper rifle to defend my home makes me shiver. I joked. Garrus. His father came down the stairs. Sir, Garrus responded. I'm happy to see you returned from target practice okay. It got a little tiring, but I had a good friend to get me out of the firing range. Clearly this was an inside thing. Commander Shepard, is this my father, Castus Vakarian? Dad, this is John Shepard, first human Spectre. I've heard of him, thought you were dead. I got better, pleased to meet you. Garrus told me you taught him everything he knows. They shook hands. So, I would like to thank you personally, he saved my life more than once. I mean, I did the shooting. Garrus muttered. And I'm Solana, his little sister. She also shook Shepard's hand. So, you're Garrus's man crush. I heard Tally sputter a little, holding back a giggle. I'm back for 10 seconds and that's the first thing you say. I love you too, you little brat. Garrus growled. It's nice to meet you, Solana. Shepard smiled at her. Yes, it is, very nice. She muttered, bowing a little. Damn Shepard, hold back on the charm a little. So, why the surprise visit? Castus asked, allowing us to enter his home. Garrus coughed. Right. Allow me to introduce Nick Walters. He nodded to me. It's my pleasure, and it really was. Castus appeared in Mass Effect Andromeda for a single cutscene. He was bigger than I thought he'd be. I'm not sure if you got the news, but I'm a magical traveler from another dimension. I also happen to be one hell of a healer. He gave me a strange look. I've been getting some strange news of a man appearing out of nowhere in the Citadel, but the Asari have been the only thing the news outlet is talking about after the whole Prothean beacon thing. That would explain why no one cared that I was on the Citadel, but yeah, I did cause a bit of a kerfuffle, didn't I? I gave a light chuckle. In my defense, they were very annoying. So, if you're a healer, I'm guessing my son has told you about Dilia. I nodded. Correct. He was hoping I could help cure her. And you think you can succeed where Turian doctors who practice medicine for years couldn't? I gave a shrug and smirked. I have magic. This time he snapped his eyes to Garrus. Please, just let him try. I've seen him do things that no one else in the entire galaxy could. Please, Garrus pleaded. Castus gave his son a long look, before nodding and leading us up the stairs. We ended up in the same room Castus was using to aim at my head. It was nice. It looked like a master bedroom with a chair by the window with a sniper leaning against the chair. There was a Turian woman in the large bed, knitting something. Mom, Garrus caught her attention, as he kneeled next to her. She didn't say anything, just reached out and touched his face, with a small smile crossed her face. Turian mother. Dilia Vakarian née Kaelso. LVL, 18. Age, 50. HP 290/290. Ailments. Severe Corpalus syndrome, 800 MP. Muscle atrophy, 200 MP. Slight hunger, food. Slightly thirsty, water. Dilia Kaelso, born and raised in Palavan, married Castus Vakarian at the age of 23 and gave birth to Garrus 2 years later and Solana 7 years after that. She got into an accident 5 years ago, where she developed Corpalus syndrome. She has been steadily forgetting things since. She doesn't know who you are, or what you are. I brought someone who might be able to help you, Garrus whispered. He gave me a quick look which I nodded to. The wave of relief that slammed into him must have been great as he wobbled on his knees. I kneeled next to him. Hello Mrs. Vakarian, my name is Nick Walters. If you don't mind, I'm going to help you today. She reached out and pinched my cheek. Your scales are missing. I gave a light chuckle. It's true, I might not be the most handsome Turian, but I like to think my personality makes up for that. I cupped her hand and cured her Corpalus syndrome. Her head lit up like a beacon for a moment before dimming down, to the point where only a glowing outline of her brain remained before that also faded. She started blinking rapidly, and shaking the cobwebs from her mind. Whoa, easy Mrs. Vakarian, let your brain fill in the blanks. I soothed. She looked at me before looking over to Garrus, and then to her husband and daughter. Castus, what the hell's going on? She didn't get an answer before Garrus smothered her in a bear hug. Oof, Garrus, what's gotten into you? Whoa, whoa, there big boy. I called out, pulling him away. I haven't finished healing her. But her corpulus is gone, but I need to fix her muscles. I don't think she's been doing much in her condition. I explained. Mrs. Vakarian, do you remember me? I think you're that ugly Turian. That got me to laugh. The very same. If you don't mind, I need to finish my treatment so your family can swarm you. I asked for her hand. Ah, okay. She placed her hand on mine, allowing me to finish her treatment. This time when the light show ended, she looked way better. Okay, now you can swarm her. I nodded, stepping out of the way, stopping next to Shepard, as the family joined in a group hug. I suggest we get comfortable. There's going to be a bit of crying, eating, questions, and more crying. Trust me, I've done this a few times. I groaned, sitting on Castus's chair, and looked out to the capital. It really was a beautiful city. Shepard POV. True to Nick's words, the family took some time before they were able to regain their composure. That followed by us moving down to the kitchen, where Nick helped Solana cook some kind of bird, followed by what seemed like 1,000 questions that Nick answered without missing a beat, followed by more crying. There has to be something we can do to repay you, Castus asked. Nick nodded. There is, and it's simple. Please listen to your son's full story before you make any judgment. Castus looked over to his son. Garrus took a deep breath. Where do I start? The beginning, Castus answered. You know I hate it when a story starts somewhere in the middle. Right, so it started about 3 years ago. And Garrus started listing off what happened when we started hunting down Saren, from exposing him, to Theorem, Pharaohs, Novaria, Vermeer, Ilos, to what the Citadel really was, and all the way to right now. His sister looked at him like he was crazy, but his mother and father were dead quiet, just looking deep into their son's eyes. This is bad, his mother muttered. It took 8 Alliance cruisers to defeat that thing, and if you didn't weaken it beforehand they would have done nothing. How many did you say there were? Castus asked. We shrugged. Enough to destroy all advanced civilizations before ours, and were far behind the Protheans. I answered. There could be thousands, millions. No one civilization is going to defeat them. We need to unite. You're fighting the Collector, right? You believe they're connected? They're using Reaper tech. We fought Husks on Horizon. We believe that the Collectors are just tools for the Reapers. We just don't understand what they want humans for. Shepard sighed. I'll start making calls. Castus answered. Primarch Fedorian owes me a few favors. You think he'll listen? Garrus asked. I'll force him to. We are standing on death's door. We can't afford not to push the envelope. Castus sighed. Thanks, Dad. Garrus got to his feet. I would love to stay, but it's time for me to go. People are still in danger, and it is a Turian's job to keep the peace. Castus followed his lead, and gave him a salute. Stay safe. I didn't just get my wife to lose my son. There was another round of hugs and well wishes before we were able to escape the Vakarian home. This was a good stop. Nick nodded. We helped Garrus and might get the Turian people to get working on something to fight the Reapers. Garrus, how are you doing? Ayla asked. That couldn't have been easy having to leave your family. Garrus shrugged. I'm okay. Just one more thing to work for. Thank you. Nick shrugged back. We tend to fight the hardest when we have some to come home to. Also, I'm using that story you told your family to create your show. What? Most of what I said was factual. That's not fair. Rex deflected rockets with his abs. I have no doubt Tally over there is going to drop kick a Geth Colossus. Are you saying I'm not even going to have any cool lines? Garrus gawked. I think the truth will come out better in the Turian market. Nick smirked. Shepard, say something, Garrus pleaded. 5%. I counted. 4, Nick counted. 8. You went up, Nick huffed. I know, and if you don't want it to rise, I suggest you fold. You should stick to your day job, Shep. 5. Final offer. Deal. We shook on it. I got you 5%. You happy? No. I wanted my cool one-liners, and that scene where I talked down Rex from shooting you. I'm pretty sure the room was spinning. I'm sorry, you talked down Rex. I don't remember you there when Rex had a shotgun to my chest. Your memory is a bit fuzzy from your revival. I remember it clearly. The nerve of this asshole. Tally gave a cough, catching our attention. I think that rocket to the head may have knocked some screws loose. Thank you, Tally, I huffed. At least one of you. It was clearly my kind words that got through to him. Never mind. Clearly cartoon fame has clouded both your memories. I looked over to Nick. I blame you for this. I muttered, watching Tally and Garrus argue. So, you want me to cancel your animated series? Nick asked. What? Hell no, I need to set the record straight. I huffed. These idiots make it sound like someone was controlling my every action. / Damn, Gardner's gumbo is pretty damn good. It's been 2 days since Palavan and we're flying toward Zoria for Zaid's contract mission, something to do with an ESO refinery. We should arrive later today, giving me enough time to finish my Geth fighter. Garrus was across from me eating his roasted bird and looking through our new Thanix cannon. He and Nick have been talking about how an arc reactor may affect its power output, and what runes would be best to give it more power. Nick wanted to give it the ability to fire more than once every 10 minutes. Yo Shep, Nick called out, walking in the cafeteria with a beautiful red-haired woman. Her eyes were cerulean blue, her lips were pouty, she had a smile that didn't look fake in the slightest. She was wearing some kind of leather armor that hugged her in all the right ways, and the way she walked caught every man's attention. Crewman Richard walked right into a wall. Allow me to introduce my friend and your new teacher, Leliana. Lily, do you have a last name? She shook her head. 3 years you've known me, and you haven't asked once. Her voice had a light French accent. It left me breathless. You're right, that is crazy. Shep, this is Leliana Walters. My very single younger sister. Nick smiled. She just rolled her eyes and looked down at me. And I just realized I was wearing my worst painted shirt, with some gumbo stains. Nick must have planned this somehow. Ah, this is some good gumbo. I turned to the Italian accent to my left, spotting a tan man with blonde hair and a tattoo on his face that I'd never seen before. Looking over to Garrus, he was just as shocked as I was at the man's sudden appearance. And this is your other teacher and my close friend, Zevran Arinai. They will be teaching you the fine work of espionage and assassination. Nick cheered. Of course, Kasumi and Nat will also be there. And don't worry about payment. I have already paid them handsomely, so you don't have to give them any money. But nothing is stopping you from tipping, Zevran teased. They'll help you with Kasumi's upcoming mission after normal morning training, so be prepared for that. Nick warned. So, get to know your teachers. Grunt, Astral, and Sky just entered the room. Nick sang, running behind the kitchen counter and joining Gardner's beat like a master musician. So, you're Commander Shepard. Nick told us a bit about you. Zevran said. Good things, I hope. I smiled at him. That you are trying to save your galaxy, I must admit, that does sound like a daunting challenge, Commander. Leliana sighed, sitting next to Garrus. I didn't even see her move. Well, nothing worth wanting is easy. And you can call me John. Garrus just gave me a blank stare. Shut up, I'm just trying to be nice. John, it's a nice name. She smiled at me. Thank you for naming me Dad. Commander, we are reaching. Who is this? Miranda groaned. Ah, my fair lady. Zevran seemed to slither past me and was kneeling before Miranda, kissing the back of her hand. My name is Zevran Arinai, just a humble elf that wishes to make every one of your dreams come true. She a crazy terrorist, Nick called out, flipping a steak. I don't think he really cared. And I'm one of the most dangerous assassins known to man. Love doesn't discriminate, Nick. You should know that more than anyone. He turned back to Miranda. I apologize for my friend. He has very little filter and tend to do what comes to his mind. And why are you on my ship? Miranda sneered. I gave a cough, followed by Edie at another table eating with Joker. Miranda rolled her eyes. Why are you on this ship? Ah, I have been very handsomely paid to teach your commander the skills of an assassin for the next week and a half. But don't worry, I am a professional. Your commander will be ready to disappear and reappear from any dark hall by the time I am finished. But if you desire, I can extend my visit. Miranda just rolled her eyes and shoved him out of the way. And you? She asked Leliana. I guess, I'm Leliana Walters. She shrugged. I have no doubt you've learned about Nick's quirk of adopting people. Was Miranda's answer. I'm here to teach John the way of espionage. I'll help him in the way of the bard, of the spy. Leliana answered. John? Miranda asked, glaring over at me. Yes, it's my name. I smiled. Right, we are reaching Zoria within 2 hours. Make sure your team is ready. She huffed, walking away. Zevran made no action to hide his gaze from tracking Miranda's ass. It's the crazy ones that make the best bedfellows. He sighed. You're just lucky Nick supplies you with cure-all potions. Leliana joked. Ah, magic, where would I be without you? He swooned. May we never find out. Right, I drawled. I'm coming to the conclusion that Zevran is a bit of a flirt. Please make yourselves at home. I need to get my team ready. GM1, can you please take my model to my room? I asked the robot maid. Oh curse, Command Air. The robot maid nodded, placing my model in her chassis. Nick, why does your golem have an Orlesian accent? Leliana yelled, running over to the kitchen. 'Cause the Orlesians can wipe my ass. He answered. I'm going to leave them to that. I looked over to Garrus. You coming? Wouldn't miss it. Those two act like me and Sol, and if I know anything we tend to make a mess. He explained, getting up and walking over to his room. It will be fine as long as nothing blows up. Warm air, good breeze, not bad. Have to burn annoying plants, but can live with that. Sky nodded, flexing her wings. These blue people are also annoying. She huffed, crushing the head of a Batarian like a ripe grape, and threw the corpse at another blue sun's merc. The shattering of bones was nasty. At the moment, Sky, Zaid, Jacob, Astral, Jack, Jenny, and I were racing through the forest outside the refinery, with blue suns getting in our way. Spirits, Garrus muttered. Zoria would have been a perfect garden world if it wasn't for some of the plants here producing a dangerous amount of pollen that could kill people. Settlers just burned huge parts of the land to live here. How did Walters bag a lady like that? Jenny huffed, watching Sky dash from one merc to another, simply killing everything wearing blue. Jack gave up trying to get the crew to call her anything else after Nick threatened a food strike. He beat her in combat. Astral answered through a mouth full of chicken. Does this girl ever stop eating? Girl, focus. I'm not going to carry you through this mission. Zaid muttered. Astral gave a huff. I'm not one of you land walkers. Your tiny weapons won't harm me. Incoming, Garrus warned as we jumped out of the way of a rocket. Everyone but Astral, who took it to the face. Astral, I called out, only to see her annoyed face looking down at her destroyed chicken. The look of unbridled rage flashed through her crimson eyes before she flashed forward, tearing off the head of the Turian that had the guts to do that. Learn your place. She kept jumping from merc to merc, leaving a trail of corpses. Well, okay then, we really should take them on more missions. Jacob muttered, watching Astral jump 3 stories, grabbing a sniper by the throat, crushing it, and using the body as a projectile. Burn, Astral roared, unleashing a bolt of fire at a group of fleeing mercs. The explosion nearly knocked me off my feet. The mercs were turned to ash. Damn, Jenny muttered. It took less than 5 minutes, there was a small fire, and every merc was dead. If the council wasn't a waste of breath, I would have recommended them for the specters. Jack gave out a loud whistle, catching the dragon's attention, making a circling motion. They gave a nod and took to the air. What was that? Jenny asked. Jack gave out a sigh. You need to pay more attention during planning. Sky and Astral are keeping the air zone clear. Nothing leaves, nothing comes in. We continued down the trail toward the refinery. So, you never did answer. How did Walters get a lady like Sky? Jenny asked. I was also a little curious. Nick was a bit of a flirt, but most men would have been ripped apart by now. Ha, Nicky, don't be silly, he's far too shy to make the first move. Jack laughed. We just looked at her like she was crazy. We saw him tell the council to suck it and burned the Asari Republic to the ground. You can't be serious. Jacob gawked. Nicky is many things, caring, lazy, pervy, and when he really wants to be, deadly. Jack explained, but when it comes to love and relationships, he is as slow as your old elevator. He would worry over every little thing. Am I going too slow, too fast? Do they like blue better than green? My kissing too long? Is my shirt pressed correctly? Does my tie look good? How many gifts are too many gifts? She gave a huff. No, Nicky needed a romance guide if you would, someone who told him that certain green lights were on and that he could move to the next step, and that's what I became. And the others? Jacob asked. Julie, Jack sighed. She fell for Nick on the first day she met him. She was then corrupted by my mother and got the idea to gain a super harem. She had the perfect man. All she had to do was get the right ladies and she would rule the multiverse. She shook her head. I tried to stop her, truly I did, but then Nat threw a cocky smirk at me. She gave another sigh. Before I knew it, my room was filled with ladies. I blame my biology. Biology? I asked. You know when Nick called us devils? I nodded. He wasn't wrong. My family on my mother's half come from one of the princesses of the Underland. She explained. Hold on. Hell is real? Jenny asked. Jack looked indecisive. Not really. It's not where your damned go when they die, that's for your God to judge. The Underland is a dimension of its own, where power is measured by the contracts you make and what family you come from. Holy shit. So, like you can make contracts for people's souls and shit? Jenny asked. Not me. I'm far too down the line for that. I'm like 9 generations away from me making any real deals, and souls. What the great evils am I going to do with those? Eat them? Jacob questioned. Gross, ugh, nasty, who would do that? If you ever see someone eating a soul, you should kill them. Jack shivered. Do you have any idea what a soul is made of? Every decision you have ever made, shoved together in a ball the size of your fist, and trust me, you can be a saint and it will smell like the worst dankest corpse you can think of, times 3. The gods made it very clear that souls are meant for them to judge. Trust me, you don't want the trouble with messing with souls. She pointed at me. That's how you get Paladin hunting you to the ends of the galaxy. Ah, sorry, I didn't know. So if not for souls, what do devils ask for? Jacob asked. Jack shrugged. Depends on what you want and how hard it is to get it. When we first met Shepard, I offered you a deal, retrieving your soul for a favor. I nodded. I do remember that. If Ayla wasn't there, I might have taken it. If it wasn't for that do-gooder. You mean your lover? Jenny asked. The very same. Don't worry, I got her back. I didn't need to know that. If she wasn't there, your soul would have cost you your children. What? I coughed out. Jack nodded. Yep, you seem like a good guy. Those babies would have been well protected. Hold on, you wouldn't take the child? Zaid asked. Why would we do that? We're not going to take a child from their family, that's monstrous, unless the parents couldn't take care of it, of course. Op gap. She pointed out a 20-foot gap, which she jumped in a single leap. She didn't even get a running start, she just jumped. Thankfully there was a bridge. There was a radio on the bridge, with some man named Vido Santiago threatening everyone not to come back to base until we were dead. Zaid nearly broke the bridge controls in anger. So, why won't you take the kids? Jack asked as we got across the bridge. Because the children will be shepherds, he will raise it right, teach it right from wrong. When the baby reaches 4 years old it will begin to grow a tail and horns, and their magic tends to kick in. And that's it, you have a tiefling. So, Shepard would have to have sex with a tiefling? Jenny asked. That's the best part. No. The moment Shepard agreed, his bait and tackle were enchanted. Any children he had will be a tiefling no matter what. Jack explained. What if he doesn't have children? Garrus asked. Ho ho, he wouldn't be the first to try. The answer is simple. We make him irresistible. We tiefling make it so women find Shepard the cream of the crop. How do you like your men, Jenny? Big and strong? Boom. Shepard gets bigger, and his muscles become just the right size. You like them nerdy? Well, he's already kinda nerdy, so we wouldn't have to do much. Hey, I nodded ahead of us. Jack waved away my words. Relax. Women love all kinds of men. My oldest sister loves them plump. That's not what I'm haying you about. We reached the door. I huffed. Oh, so, do we jump it? She asked. Not all of us can jump 50 feet in the air. Zaid huffed. You guys should work out more then. Jack joked. I work out plenty. Jacob huffed. Besides, the controls are right over there. Not everything needs magic. Cover. I'll open the door. I ordered. Opening the gate, we were met with dozens of mercs pointing guns at us. Well, what do we have here? A human man slowly clapped on a second-floor balcony railing. Evil be good, Nick would have killed that man by now. That was so cringy. Jack huffed. Just give me the word. Vido. Zaid growled. Zaid. Vido started laughing. Holy shit, man, you're still alive. I shot you in the face. I shouldn't be too surprised though. You were always too stubborn to die. Kill them, he ordered, just before a bolt of lightning struck him in the chest, launching him over the railing to the hard ground. Something definitely broke on the landing. Ah, fuck, someone help me, he ordered. The mercs returned fire. Jack turned into lightning running through mercs, leaving them easy targets for the rest of us. Fuck. Vido cursed as he tried to crawl away as we reached him. Zaid, buddy, come on, you know it wasn't personal, it was only business. Come on, be reasonable, he pleaded. 20 years I chased you, 20 years of hate, 20 years, and damn, does it feel good to give you at my mercy. I dreamed of this day, what I would do to you. I even got Walters to fix my beloved. Zaid growled, switching his sniper for his assault rifle. Hee, then you should have been faster. Vido laughed as a gunship came from overhead. It didn't last long though, as a 70-foot fully armored silver dragon came down like a falcon, tearing the ship apart like it was cotton candy, and flew off like it had something better to do. Everything was dead quiet. Zaid started slowly chuckling, before he started laughing so hard I thought he was going to pass out. I did not see that coming. He laughed. But you're right, Vinny, best not drag this out. ZA. He didn't get to finish, as Zaid shot him in the face. Double tap, Jack called out, passing Zaid a flaming sword. Don't mind if I do. He smiled like a grandpa would to their granddaughter that said something funny, bringing the sword down and chopping Vido's head off before the body lit up in flames. He let out a long sigh. Can I keep this? Jack gave him a shrug. Sure. It's not even the best sword I have. Thanks, let's clean up the rest and get paid. Zaid put his new sword away in its sheath, strapped it to his waist. The rest of the refinery was just your average cover-to-cover march made easy with Jack stun locking opponents for us to pick off. In the end, the workers were freed, and the refinery had minimal damage, and on the occasion Astral or Sky would come from up above and rip apart a gunship before flying off. Maker, I miss having air superiority, it makes things much easier. Leah Viel POV. Okay Leah, after a week of normal testing I believe I was able to gain enough base data to make a decent comparison with your enhanced body. Are you ready? Nick asked. It's been a week of testing and I'm pretty sure that if it wasn't for Nick's ridiculous, way too tight, training outfit, I would have been a sad sore Quarian begging for death on the floor, but I feel great. I think I even grew some muscle. Ready, but what's with the crowd? It almost seemed like the whole ground crew was down here and the rest of the staff was looking from overhead on the 4th floor. That's a good question, Shepard. He looked over to Captain Shepard. The captain shrugged. I'm not sure about everyone else, but I have spy training after this. I wanna see if she explodes. The Krogan bounced in excitement. For scientific inquiry, of course. Only got to see Counselor Anderson on the Citadel from a distance. Now know what to look for, better readings. Please continue, pretend I'm not here. Dr. Solis rambled. I also want to see if she explodes. The tattooed female huffed. We don't have all day, Walters. The Cerberus cheerleading Boshetet ordered. Ah, yes, we do. The only mission we have is Kasumi's, which is like 3 days from now, and since our assassin and Justicar are still underground, we have nothing else to do. Nick huffed. He turned to me. We can do this in private if you want. Thank you, but everyone's already here. Let's just get this over with. I sighed. All right, hand. He stuck out his arm at me. I did the same, meeting in a handshake. Here we go. The world went white for a moment. Everything felt lighter. As the light faded, I was looking Nick in the chin, which was new because he was nearly a foot taller than me. He looked different, no more detailed. Reaching up, I ran my fingers through his stubble. It felt funny, it tickled. Soft coughing caught my attention. Turning, I spotted a smirking Kasumi. Her stealth suit lit up for a moment. I could see ways I could enhance it. What tech could help power it, make it better? You okay? Whoa, I could see the vibrations of her words. I knew where she was. Suddenly everything went thermal, allowing me to see her heat signature. Blinking again, it went away. Breathe, Nick whispered, bringing me into a hug, holding me up. He was very warm, and smelled a little musky, just finishing morning training. In, out, in, out. I followed his instructions. It was a little harder than I thought. I could breathe in so much more now, my lungs felt huge. That's it. Allow your magic to calm down. You're safe. Nothing's going to hurt you. Everything was slowly returning to normal. I couldn't even smell Nick and I was holding on to him for support. I'm okay, I gasped. Are you sure? He asked. I nodded into his sweaty shoulder. Keeler, I'm going to need a shower. He slowly allowed me to touch the floor. I still held on to his shirt a little, not fully trusting my feet. He didn't seem to mind. How are you doing? It took me a moment, but I finally trusted myself to stand on my own. Good, that was just a lot. I chuckled. Wow, I laughed again. I gave a little hop to give the floor under me a good test. Well, I would have if I didn't jump half a foot in the air. Whoa, Nick caught me again. How about a lunch break? He suggested. My stomach then made a noise I thought only Thresher Moors could make. I could eat, I muttered. Tally POV. Whoa, I muttered. Leoviel just ate that steak, like a wild animal. Any plate Nick placed in front of her was cleaned within 30 seconds. Nick, is this normal? I asked. Shepard, Garrus, and Morden were sitting at the counter with me and Leoviel. Oh yeah. He placed a rack of ribs on our table, which was quickly ripped apart by the Quarian across from me. I unlocked her chi with her mana. Her body is now producing and wasting a large amount of energy and she needs to fuel. Give it a day or two, her metabolism will even out, and have better control of her new power. Won't this affect her? This is a lot of food, I asked, as she tore apart a turkey leg. He shrugged. The chi in her body will burn off any unnecessary fat. She'll probably gain some muscle though. What is chi? Shepard asked. Imagine your body was a sponge that soaked up mana from the universe around you. By working the body, the sponge gets bigger and you can use more magic. Chi is the power of the body. He made a fist before it turned a metallic black. It is your very will. It is life. Where magic bends reality, chi forces it into submission. It is control. Let the universe quake in anger at my might. I'm not going anywhere. He smirked, letting the black that covered his arm to fade. In layman's terms, mana brain, chi body. Oversimplification. Do these powers mix? Morden asked. Pish, are you joking? Mana still needs the body to perform spells. Chi keeps the body in peak condition. Leah wouldn't even need a focus. When she gains control of her body, the only thing stopping her from casting spells will be her knowledge, imagination, and energy. Nick answered, and it comes with a whole lot more side effects. Tally, how long do most Quarians live for? About 100 years, if they don't get sick. I answer, not anymore. Remember when I told you that in times of stress and danger, your magic will act out to keep you safe? Guess what? Every time your cells copy themselves, they're slightly more flawed than before. We call this aging. Your magic doesn't like that. So, it tries to help by making every copy just that little bit better, the flaws a little bit less, and the aging slows. I believe the Asari people do the same with biotics, but I haven't really gotten a chance to check. Now you have 300 to 400 years. Now add Chi. Your body is now more powerful than ever before. Energy courses through your body. Every one of your cells just got a major power boost. That 400 years has now doubled. Stay in shape, find things to do and explore, create a family, and suddenly 1000 years isn't so crazy. Shit, you might even see Rex grow old with his thousands of children when we beat the Reapers. He joked, placing another stake in front of Leaviel, who didn't hesitate. I don't even think she was paying attention. That's crazy. Nick, how old are you? Garrus asked. 28. Why, 28? Shouldn't it take longer for you to reach adulthood? Asari usually reach adulthood at about 150. Garrus gawked. Yeah, but I'm human. Yes, but. Garrus looked confused, trying to make sense of it all. Your people are like Krogans. Grunt answered, coming over with an empty plate where Nick placed a fresh melon. Kind of. A Krogan can have a good life in my world. Dragons, zombies, werewolves, demons, lots of things that go bump in the night and the day. In fact, I have a Krogan head mounted in my castle. Hey, look at that. Krogan were the first people of your dimension to travel. Congratulations. He cheered. Grunt started laughing in pride. I felt like my brain was about to explode. The Krogans were our first diplomatic ambassadors to a new dimension. Any stories about them? Grunt asked. Nick shrugged. A few, none that I can confirm. Some of the Ava clans talk about a group of scaled warriors that used strange magic. Some talk about a mighty scaled warrior that helped the early Ferelden barbarians fight back the werewolves that stalked the night, but nothing was ever confirmed. But I did find this. He created an illusion of a cave painting that looked a lot like a Krogan with a huge battle axe, fighting off large animals with a group of humans holding spears. Haha, great warriors. Do you know their names? No, most have been lost to history, and others have had their legends told so many times that it's hard to tell what is fact. Can people just travel through dimensions like that? Garrus asked. Gods no, you would first have to pass through the in-between, the space between dimensions. Trust me, you don't want to be stuck there, an infinity of nothing, no up or down, no time, no you, just the void. He gave a shiver. I lost a good amount of golems that way. That sounds terrible. I also shivered. And that's not the only thing. If you're lucky enough to pass the in-between, you can end up anywhere in the multiverse, and that can be just as dangerous. Can you imagine a dimension where everyone has butts for faces, or feet for hands, or everyone has mustaches? Tally, you have a mustache, Garrus. Mustache. Shepard, how do you like your new handlebar mustache? Nick teased, casting illusions of mustaches on everyone. That doesn't make any sense. Garrus yelled, waving away the illusion. Oh, I'm sorry, Mom, is the multiverse melting your mind? Nick asked. Garrus morphed into a female Turian that looked like his mother and sister. What about you, Jane? Nick asked Shepard as he seemed to shrink, grow breasts, and short red hair that reached her neck. Maybe you can explain it to her, Talon. Nick's voice changed pitch halfway through his sentence. He was a woman now, with long wild black hair. I snapped my eyes down to my breasts only to find a hard muscular chest. Ah, I screamed, Keela. My voice was so deep. I quickly patted myself off, dispelling the illusion. Ah, my beautiful breasts were back. That was way too scary. I sighed. And that's just a glimpse of what's out there. The fact that so many Krogan reach theaters alive must have been a miracle, or at the very least divine intervention. He teased, passing Leoviel some more food. It's fun to think of somewhere out there the Krogan are the ones who became the leaders in science and forward thinking, and the Solarian became bloodthirsty barbarians that only want revenge for the genophage. The Quarians and Geth never fought and became a powerhouse of the galaxy. Humans became the police of the galaxy, while the Turians are a new up-and-coming race with visions of something greater, and the Asari aren't bitches. Wild, I tell you. Anything you can imagine can exist somewhere out there. Sometimes I wonder if dreams are just us viewing our counters universes. But what do I know? I'm 28, and fighting giant space robots. He shrugged off that existential crisis and gave Leoviel another steak. Yep, I'm gonna have weird dreams tonight. Kick, Nick ordered. Heya, Leah yelled, mule kicking a 100-pound punching bag, launching it across the shuttle bay, hitting the wall, and slumping to the floor. That was over 70 meters, thanks to Nick's space expanding nonsense. Very good, Nick called out, jotting some notes, before whispering with Dagna, who was also taking notes. At the moment most of the ground crew had just finished morning warm-ups and were watching Leoviel test her new strength. Okay Leah, let's test some weights, we'll start at your previous max. We watched as Leoviel, who had serious trouble lifting the same weight yesterday, deadlifted the 60-pound barbell with a single hand and lifted it over her head without any trouble. Whoa, I muttered. How are you feeling? Nick asked. Like I can lift the Normandy with my bare hands. Leoviel cheered. Let's build up to that. He teased, pointing to another bar of weights. Let's find your max first. We just sat there and watched her lift one barbell after another, getting heavier and heavier, finally maxing out at 375 pounds, before Ava took away the weights. I've worked with lots of soldiers and know that big muscles don't always mean being strong, but watching someone like Leoviel, who has never lifted something heavier than a sheet of metal and weighing about 140 pounds wet, lift that much weight was mind-blowing. She lifted over 600% of her original max. That was crazy, she laughed. This is what chi does to the body. Nick smiled, as he moved over to a Whack-Ape Hijack arcade game. Now let's test your speed. Again it will be at your previous max. Nick made the game the last time we were in the Citadel. I thought it was just a fun thing to have. Guess Nick had other plans for it. He used it to test our hand-eye coordination and reaction speed. I got a decent score and reached level 6, which Nick labeled as a specialist. Shepard reached level 7 for N7, Joker reached level 8 for Spectre, Ava reached level 9, which was called Elf Ranger. There were higher levels, but no one reached them. The lowest score was 1, drunk. Watching Leoviel reach level 5, beating her previous score of 3 in quick order, was a little daunting. It's like she skipped months of training in less than a day. The game ended with her at level 5, but she was really close to the next level. A little more training and she could easily catch up to me. I'm not going to lie to myself. I was a little jealous. I had to get my skill by punching Geth and creeps. She got hers from some space wizard. Not bad, now let's test some memory. Nick called out, look here. He flashed her a piece of paper for less than a second. What was the 5th word? Banana. 8th. Eyebrow. How many words were there? 38. Very good. Now we are going to do some hopscotch. As you land, you'll need to call out a word after every hop. Nick ordered, as a white outline marked itself on the floor with different numbers on it. When are we getting our upgrade? Zaid huffed, watching Leoviel hopping around and calling out words. You want magic powers, Zaid? Shepard asked. I don't know about magic, but lifting nearly a quarter of a ton wouldn't be too bad. And let's not forget that girl isn't a trained soldier. She doesn't have the skills or experience we do. You've seen the elf with the metal hand. She outperformed us in every one of Walter's little tests. At this point we're just slowing him down. He huffed. He did have a point. Even Lina, who wasn't even a fighter, could take us down with some effort. Yeah, but we can't just go over there and ask, Garrus muttered. We sat quietly watching Leoviel doing sprints from one end of the shuttle bay at blinding speeds, before Shepard stood to his full height. Shepard, I asked. He ignored me and walked over to Nick. He was talking to Nick about something, but they were talking too quietly for me to hear. Sometimes I miss my mask's ability to read lips. Shepard said something that made Nick laugh, before pointing to Grunt, who was learning to shoot a fireball from his mouth from Astral and Sky. Shepard took a moment, crossing his arms, thinking of something. What do you think they're talking about? Kasumi asked. Walters is too unconventional. If Shepard is asking for upgrade, Walters will counter with something crazy, making Shepard second-guess his actions. Mordin pointed out. Oh yes, Nick loves messing with people. Zevran teased, drinking some water. Zevran has only been here for a few days, but he fit right in like he was always part of our crew for years. Assassins are scary. He believes that power should come with side effects. Leliana sighed. Leliana was pretty, some would say too pretty. Did she have to walk like that? I didn't think hips could move like that. Or sacrifice, Zevran added. Money sometimes works, but that's more for weapons and armor, sometimes magic lessons, if he's feeling bored. Unless you're a child, or what he calls them, whipper-snappers, because I'm certain his soul is as old as dirt, and he knows it. Lina joked. Yeah, where an adult needs to gain his approval and respect, Nick just gives kids whatever they want, part of it because he thinks the young shouldn't be held to the same responsibilities as an adult, and that your youth shouldn't be filled with hardship. Ava nodded. Our world isn't easy. You're forced to grow quickly or die. Nick hated that. Are you sure Walters doesn't like kids too much? Jenny huffed like she was telling a very ugly joke. Did you know that when you hang someone, you need to drop them from a high enough place for their neck to snap? Otherwise, they just hang there, slowly suffocating to death. It could take hours, maybe even days. Zevran muttered, looking out over nothing. There was a gang that kidnapped children and sold them to the richest noble for their pleasure. Oh Keela. When Nick found out, he hung him, all of them, from the nobles to the smallest gang member out in the main street of Denerim. They begged and pleaded. Please, we'll give you anything you want, they gasped, but Nick didn't care. He didn't care that the people might see him as a monster, or demon, or an abomination. He made sure that everyone knew why they were dying. Any who tried to get them down joined them. 125 people died that day and were picked clean by birds. The rest of Ferelden got the message. No one was untouchable, and children were off limits. So, Ms. Jenny, if you wanna say that to Nick's face, I hope you're ready for the consequences. Just because he sees you as a little sister doesn't mean he's not going to break every bone in your body for calling him something so disgusting. Zevran warned. The people of Thedas still talk about that. Leliana added. I don't think I've ever seen Nick that angry. I hope you never see Nick that angry. He was like a volcano that looked ready to blow only for it to freeze. I still feel the sense of death. Everything and everyone was about to die, and all you could do was watch. You couldn't stop it. You couldn't run. You couldn't even pray. The world just stood there, waiting to die. She shivered. I over to Nick. It didn't look like anything could affect him. As if he could phase through any attempt the galaxy might use to hurt or annoy him. But he's still mortal. Something's happening, Zaid huffed. Shepard nodded at Nick before shaking hands. Nick gave a whistle, getting Grunt's attention, waving him over. Before they talked some more, Grunt pointed at Leoviel, getting Nick to nod, before pointing to Sky, which Nick shrugged. There was more talking before Grunt nodded. What are you talking about? Jacob asked before Nick placed a hand on Grunt and the room was flooded with light, catching all of us off guard. Son of a bitch. My eyes were wide opened. I hissed. Now I really missed my mask and its ability to polarize light. Like I said, he likes messing with people. Zevran hissed. It took me a minute, but I was able to regain my vision, giving me the ability to see an 8-foot heavily muscular Krogan, before he let off a roar that dropped me to my butt, holding my ears before he started laughing. This is awesome. He then unleashed a fireball from his mouth, which met a magical shield, putting it out before it did any damage. Hot, hot, Hot. Grunt panicked. He was saved by Nick shoving a water spell down his throat. And what did we learn? Nick asked. Don't get cocky. Grunt huffed, smacking his mouth, making sure his tongue was okay. Nick laughed. Good. Here. He passed Grunt a watermelon. Grunt didn't hesitate, munching on his snack. Man, these are the best. Like water, but better 'cause you can chew it. Careful with those, Grunt. Rex got addicted to that stuff. Shepard warned. Grunt waved him away. Bah, I'll be fine, it's only one. Now that I had a better look at him, I noticed that his head plates ended in spikes, and his armor had runes running through them. Now I wondered if this was what some legendary Krogan heroes looked like. Dagna, can you finish Leah's tests? I need to make sure Grunt gets enough food. Lina, can you take over my spot? Nick called out to Lina, who responded with a thumbs up. Nick waved goodbye as he and Grunt took the lift up to the 3rd floor. What the hell was that? I asked Shepard as I walked over to him. Oh, I asked Nick if he could upgrade us. He shrugged like it was the most obvious thing in the world. Just like that? Zaid asked. Shepard gave another shrug. He said he needs Anderson's test results before he does any more humans, and he gets to choose when he upgrades people. But he promised that everyone should be powered up before we take the fight past the Omega Relay. So, you just asked? Jacob asked, trying to wrap the idea around his mind. Yeah, 8 out of 10 times it's the simplest and fastest way to get what you want. Now if you would excuse me, I need to learn how to laugh like a douchebag. He muttered. Noble, Sereda corrected, before laughing like an Asari villain in a Blasto movie. You laugh from the nose. I'm pretty sure that if I laugh like that, someone is going to punch me in the face. Shepard muttered. That's the point, Jonathan, you're taunting your lessers, knowing that if they try anything you will have them and their families killed. Sereda explained. I sometimes forget that Sereda is a real-life princess that told her kingdom to grow up. My life is weird. / Grunt POV. I can see everything, hear everything, smell everything. Before, when I thought about how I would fight someone, flashes from Tank Mother would come to the front of my mind. But now, I could see glowing weak spots on my would-be opponent. It was strange. It was as if my mind subconsciously made it easier to fight those around me. When I looked over to Nick, he was practically a huge glowing spot. He had no defenses up, but the moment I thought of attacking, everything went red, my own mind warning me that I wouldn't win, and retaliation would be brutal. Nick wasn't a threat until I made him a threat. It's like his was inviting all challenges with a big open target, so when they get close, they would fall into his deadly trap. This gives him the ability to walk within a crowd without spooking anyone. Smart. Personally, I would just rush everyone. I mean, look at me. I'm huge. But I need to remember that Nick defeated me time and time again with little to no trouble. I keep jumping into fights without thinking. I can't do that anymore. As a Krogan of Clan Erdno, I represent Rex and my people. I need better control of my power. Nick. Yeah, Grunt. He passed me some raw broccoli. I like the crunch. I wish to learn your ability to harden. Harden? You mean armament haki? He asked, showing off his blackened fist. I nodded. I have seen you punch Krogan to death in a single blow. Maybe. This skill isn't something one can easily learn. It took Dagna months to get a decent grip on the skill. If you do this, expect failure after failure. He answered. I nodded. I am willing to learn. All right, we can start tomorrow, but for now eat up. You're looking like a twig. He joked. I look nothing like a twig. I'm pure super Krogan. / Nick POV. Lawson got annoyed at my actions again. At this point that was her default emotion nowadays. I feel a little bad about that, kind of, a smidge, an ounce. Okay, I don't really care. Lawson can kiss my ass. I understand that she had daddy issues, the fact that the elusive man is super paranoid, and that she was pretty much just a lapdog for most of her life. But she can't just demand my respect, she needed to earn it. The problem with that was her need to be in charge, She needed to be perfect and a crazy space wizard that gave people superpowers because he felt like it wasn't meshing well with her carefully made plans. Bah, it's fine, I'm teaching her how to improvise, or at least die trying. Grunt's training into Haki was moving along rather quickly. Teaching Dagna gave me a decent place to where to start. Teaching him to feel his chi through his body came much easier than I thought it would. I believe it came naturally due to the Krogans already having the massive will to face untold odds, but also because Grunt is pure Krogan with the genes of dozens of other well-known warlords. He was just having some trouble molding his chi and will into a barrier. I don't blame him. The idea itself is nebulous at best. How does one mold their will? What does it feel like? And how do you know if it's working? So, I used the only method I knew worked. Combat. Well, it was less combat and more allowing me to be a punching bag and using my inspiration skill for 3 days. Please tell me that's not all the mighty Super Krogan has. I teased to huffing Grunt. His hands were bleeding. I kept the Haki rebound to a minimum, but Grunt needed to feel every failed attack. Shut up, he roared, dashing forward and delivering a mean right hook, which I countered with my own. Strength contest. Erdno Grunt vs Nick Walters. Haki rebound. Erdno Grunt has not used Haki, but counters with Chi. Chi matched. Grunt counters with strength. Strength matched. Victor, Nick Walters. Erdno Grunt has been struck with 50 points of rebound damage. Rah, he roared backing away, nursing his bruised fist. Damn it, he hissed, allowing his Regan to fix his hand. Is that it, Grunt? Is that what it means to be Krogan? I taunted. Some half-ass effort. Where the hell is all that pride? Where is the Krogan that looked at a thresher more in the face and laughed? You come at me with barely half your strength. No. I need all of it. Everything you got. No holding back. You need to come at me with the will to kill. Haki is nothing less. It's victory or death. It is the will of every Krogan that stood before extinction and told it to run. That the Krogan people will not fall. Not to nukes, or Rachni, or the Council, not to the genophage, not to time itself. Get up, I hissed. You need to want this more than life itself. Grab whatever strength you have left and tell the galaxy it needs to do better. I growled, allowing my Haki to grow up my hand covering my whole arm. I grow tired of this, Grunt. Right here right now, show me what it is to be Krogan. Show me your will to live, when the galaxy demands your death. Because I won't waste my breath anymore, show me that you want this, show me. I unleashed my intimidation skill flooding the room. Everything, I launched myself forward. Just for a moment, I saw it, fear. Grunt was scared. I was coming and nothing was going to stop me. No one was going to save him. He only had himself. And just as quickly as it appeared it vanished. His face scrunched into a rictus of rage, of pure defiance. If death has come for him, he wasn't going to go quietly into that good night. Ah. His roar was primal, like a wounded beast that challenged the storm gods above, showing them that his injuries weren't enough to make it kneel. Our fists met. Haki contest. Erdno Grunt vs Nick Walters. Haki matched. Chi matched. Strength matched. Tie. Damage mitigated. Grunt stood at his full height towering over me breathing heavily, just looking down at me. I reached out and grabbed him, stopping him from falling over. Good job, Grunt. You're probably the first Krogan in history to unlock your Haki. Hey, he wheezed. Let's go, Agaran. That got a chuckle out of me. You're out of chi. You can't even move. Take a moment to rest and eat. We'll continue tomorrow. He just slumped onto my shoulder. Ugh, these damn whippersnappers. Why can't I have normal non-prodigy apprentices? I cracked my bones. That was awesome. Dagna came rushing over with some of the crew. The room was a mess. Things were tossed all over the place, and everyone was looking at me like I was crazy. I'm guessing things got a little crazy. I teased. A bit, but I'm just happy you unlocked his chi this way. She teased. Last I checked you were having a good time when you unlocked your Haki. I teased. Yes, but I doubt the others will be as accepting of Grunt. She giggled. I joined her. Come on, let's get this big baby to bed. I wanna test your haki. Her blush was beautiful. She pushed me slightly. Hurry up then, she ordered, running off ahead. Yes, Mom. // Nick POV. Alright Shep, I know 1.5 weeks isn't a lot of time to prepare, but it's game day. You ready? I asked from outside his dressing room in the men's bathroom on the 3rd floor. Why are you so invested? Garrus asked. Wah, John, or his alias, Solomon Gunn, is wearing one of my handmade suits. It has enough runes to stop a tank round, before having to recharge, as well as make him a fashion icon. There is going to be a lot of evil people at that party, and if they like my stuff you better believe they'll pay up the nose for their own. I huffed. You have weird priorities, he drawled. Hey, the more money we have, and the less they have can only be a good thing. He shrugged at my logic. I guess. All right. The dress door opened, revealing Mr. Gunn in a modified tux. It had a bit of a retro look with a bow tie, dress shirt, shoes, and pants. His suit had a bit more of a future aesthetic, with the fake symbol for Kasumi's made-up merc group. I had him grow a beard and hair, that I neatly cut. Shepard may have been killed, but he was still an icon in council space, and with Beckenstein being a stone's throw away from the Citadel, we had to change up his look. Looking sharp, I complimented, before passing him one last thing. Glasses. He put him on. Kent glasses, Julie and I created them. They're meant to make it hard for people to remember your face. It's not perfect, but it should keep people from just knowing you're you. Now come on, we have one last check. I still don't know why I'm doing this. It's important, I answered, grabbing his bow tie and bending it out of place. This is how we'll know it's good enough. It's dumb. Get ready to eat your words. I opened the doors to the hallway lined with some of the female crew, who locked eyes with Shepard's body. There were a lot of red faces as the commander walked by. Reaching the elevator, we went up to the 2nd floor. No one did anything. I'm telling you it's dumb. Shepard huffed. Wait for it, your commander, goddamn, Shepard, many women are intimidated. I answered. The doors to the CIC opened to more of the crew. Again everyone just stared at Shepard as we passed. It wasn't until we reached the neck of the ship, where the rest of the ground crew was, that we were stopped. Hey, dumbass, Jenny barked, walking up to Shepard. Your stupid bow tie is crooked, she muttered, fixing it into place. Shepard looked all kinds of flustered. Thank you, Jack, he whispered to her. Whatever, she huffed, looking away. Oh gosh, she had a light blush. She turned at my snickering. You want some of this, Walters? She hissed, raising her glowing fists at me. No, sorry, I ruined your husband and wife moment, I teased, phasing through the kick she launched into my crotch. Just you wait, Nick, I'm gonna learn how you do that, and I'm gonna kick your ass. She hissed. Is it before or after your marriage? I continued to tease. Don't you worry, I'll walk you down the aisle. One of these days, Walters, just you wait. She growled. Later, please, I need both of these idiots now. Kasumi called out, shooing Jenny away. What are you wearing? I asked. What? She looked down at her normal outfit. What the hell do you mean? What? You look like you're going to rob a bank. We're going to a party. Go get dressed, for a party. I hissed. I don't have party clothes. She shrugged. Wah, this was your plan. Did you think you could just walk in with a high-tech stealth suit? I gawked. Rich people tend to be pretty dumb. She shrugged. That's not an excuse, I hissed, before sighing. Lily, can you please? I passed her one of my new armors. And make sure she knows how to use it. You know she was probably lying about not having a dress. Zevran pointed out. She better have been. I sighed, otherwise I would have really yelled at her. I took a second to my clothes to mold into something resembling Shepard's N7 armor, just with a fake symbol where the N7 was. Jack came over and gave it a few tuffs, making sure it was on tight, before giving me a light kiss. Have I ever told you your magic is ridiculous? Jeff joked. Yes, I think you said it when you were staring at your wife's butt for your whole 10-minute jog this morning. I smiled. Wah, no, what, I didn't look for that long, he muttered. Do you like my posterior, Jeff? Edie asked. No, yes, no, what answer do you want for these questions to stop? Joker whined. The truth, Edie demanded, cupping Joker's face and bringing his face inches from hers. Your breath smells like onions. Joker, come on. I wanted to know what an onion tasted like. Edie, brush your teeth. And, Joker asked. A bit sour, and crunchy like an apple, it stung my eyes. Are you going to kiss me now? A bit straightforward, Edie, but best not to beat around the bush. Not with that breath, Joker huffed, pushing her away. I see Joker's still playing hard to get, but it seems like Edie likes the chase. Just fuck already, Jenny huffed, causing Joker to blush and stutter. I'm trying, Jennifer, but Jeff is a man you need to wine and dine. Edie deadpanned. That was a joke. How is that a joke? Jeff huffed. I'm ready, Kasumi called out, walking into the CIC wearing her hair up in a bun, a black dress that reached her shins with a cut that reached just above her hips, making it seem like she didn't have any underwear, with a single strap around her right shoulder, and a cut coming up from her hip. How am I looking? She smirked. Like a woman who's about to rob a rich asshole. Your glasses. I passed her a pair of Kent glasses, and put her stealth suit into my inventory. Alright, Miranda, as XO you're in charge until I get back, don't do anything stupid. Shepard warned. You can trust me, Commander. Gardner, remember to give Leah and Grunt snacks until dinner. I called out. Yes, head chef. / Quest. No, Mr. Gunn, I expect you to die. Kasumi has asked you for your help retrieving her friend's grey box from his killer Donovan Hock. Black tie required. Reward, 50,000 credits, 50,000 express, 1 gold loot box, 1 gacha token, and friendly with Kasumi go to. Flying toward the party, I decided to start the last debriefing. Alright, I pulled out a Walter LK with a suppressor, with enough runes to punch through armor like butter, and passed it to Shepard. You got 20 shots before it needs to cool, and has enough force to put down a charging Krogan, and it's silenced, nothing, not even a mouse, is going to hear you. I also passed Kasumi, her own pistol. They won't take it away? He asked. No, Kasumi answered. These are some of the nastiest people in the galaxy. Sure, Hawk won't let you walk in there with a rocket launcher, but a pistol is fine. She lifted her dress a little, allowing me a good look of her thigh, before strapping her gun to a holster, before snapping her eyes to mine and smirking. I gave an embarrassed cough. The statue of your old buddy Saren should be there by now. It has a tracker so we can find where he's going to stash it. I have your weapons and armor in my hammer space. I'll return them when we reach a safe destination, or if shit hits the fan. I shrugged. Nick, you're fully armored. Are they even going to let you in? Shepard asked. No, I'm a red herring. I'll be big and intimidating, giving Hawk a false sense of superiority when he sends me away, making him feel like you're unprotected. I'll then create an illusion of myself, turn invisible, and follow behind you. I answered. Right. Are you guys ready? Of course, Mr. Gunn. We called out. Hawk's mansion was ridiculous. Not that it wasn't nice. In fact, it was one of the most beautiful houses I have ever seen. But at some point, you have to realize you are living in an evil lair. The mansion was on a rock in the middle of a lake with a couple of RR guns and a butt-ton of mercs. I took the lead, stepping out of the car and securing the area, giving Shepard and Kasumi the green light. One of the dozen mercs came up to us, gun pointed at our feet. Name, he ordered. Put that thing away before I shove it down your throat. I growled, channeling my inner Zaid. What was that? The guard growled. I took a step forward, slapping the gun from his hands and grabbed him by his armor, so he could look me in the eyes. I said, put your stupid toy away before I shove it down your fucking throat, you unprofessional sack of shit. You're a goddamn rent-a-cop, point a weapon at Mr. Gunn or his date and I'll skin you alive and bathe you in salt. I shoved the guard onto the floor. Anyone else wants to risk their lives for minimum wage? I asked, unleashing my intimation skill just a bit. My, what's happening here? Well, love me tenderly. Hawk was as stupid looking as he was in the game. Stupid white outfit, thick accent, super square head. Very thing about him made me want to slap the stupid off his face. Your pet doesn't know how to treat guests, pointing guns at them. You should teach them how to act. I huffed. Rogers, relax, I'm fine. Solomon Gunn, I trust you heard of me. Those lessons came in handy. Shepard sounded just the right amount of prideful and asshole that Hawk was vibing with. Ah yes, the new mercenary leader that has been causing waves in the terminus. I read about your exploits. He looked over to the rest of his guards. Is there a problem? No sir, we just didn't know who he was, and that guard got hostile. One of the guards hissed at me. Watch your words, vermin. This time I opened the floodgates, getting the guards to shake. You dumbasses don't know how to do the simplest of fucking jobs. Check a fucking list. I feel bad for your parents having to raise a fucking failure like the lot of you. I should do Mr. Hawk a favor and remove you from his payroll. Rogers, Shepard drawled. I leashed my intimidation skill and backed off. I apologize, Mr. Gunn. I just find this level of incompetence dangerous to your health. I gave a light bow. I understand, but Mr. Hawk hired them for his party. A man of his stature would not hire subpar guards. This is a very important day for him, and they just want to make sure he's safe. Shepard acted. I'm sorry for my guard, Mr. Hawk, but you can't be too safe in my line of work. I understand, but you must understand that I can't have a heavily armed guest enter my home. That would just make everyone want to bring their own. Hawk drawled. Completely. Rogers, take the car around and wait for my call. Shepard ordered. Yes, sir. I eyeballed the guards. If anything happens to Mr. Gunn, I will kill all of you. Was my final threat. The next part was a little tricky. I created an illusion of myself over myself, then turned invisible, have the illusion get in the driver's side, press the return button at the same time, and let it fly off. Enjoy the party, Mr. Gunn. Hawk gave a small smirk and wave, not giving Kasumi a single glance. I gave Shepard a light tap to his shoulder telling him I was there. The mansion looked as luxurious inside as it did outside. Everything was some sort of marble and gold. There was a goddamn fountain in the middle of the damn house, and there was a balcony that stared out into the city with another fountain. Man, the future is pretty cool. Kasumi and Shepard mingled a bit, letting Hawk's goons move the statue to a holding cell under one of his fountains, which of course led down to his vault. Hawk was way too cocky. He had a little gloat fest about how impossible it was for anyone but himself to enter his vault. With the room cleared, I got to work removing cameras and recorders. We got 30 seconds before a guard comes down here, I whispered, as a countdown appeared in the corner of my vision. Hawk wasn't kidding about the security. We need to cut the power to the kinetic barrier, a password that only his voice can say, and a sample of his DNA for the scanner. She explained. Wall, I ordered, casting an illusion over us, making us invisible, just as a guard walked into the room. And nothing. I swear Hawk has been skimping on his equipment lately. This is the third time this week. The guard complained. The vault entrance is clear. Just another glitch. I'm heading back to control for new cameras. He spoke into his comms. Well, hurry up. Chief Rowe is pissed. One of the guards fucked up outside and is giving him the riot act. Hawk got jumpy and has changed every code in the place. Again, that's like the 10th this week. The guard groaned. I nearly didn't make it to the bathroom last time. He's not taking any chances after those two thieves nearly broke in a month ago. Just come get the damn cameras. The comms went dead. Whatever, man, he muttered, walking out of the room. He's mine, I whispered, placing a repealing rune on the vault door, keeping anyone from wanting to enter the room. The guard led me to a room filled with cameras with two other guards sitting back drinking coffee, bored out of their minds. All right, give me the codes. I don't want to dance around in front of the bathroom again. My guard huffed. One of them just laughed and pointed to the monitor on the far end. So, who's being yelled at? Wilson, dumbass, greeted one of the guests with his rifle, nearly got his ass kicked. One of the guards laughed looking at the camera, as the same dude I slapped down was being berated by a woman in similar armor. Of course, it's Wilson. If Roe wasn't his cousin, he would have been fired by now. The moment the guard added his code into the computer I cast sleep. It was a simple spell, but damn was it useful. As the guard limped over, I moved them into simple poses anyone walking in wouldn't second guess. I also put sunglasses on them. Perfect, I muttered, they'd be out for at least 2 hours. I quickly looked through the passwords, landing on Periger for the vault passcode and recording Chief Rowe's voice. Making my way out, I walked into Hawk giving a grand speech about how his evilness makes the world go round. I didn't really care. I took that moment to jam the door, making it nearly impossible for them to get out without some cutting equipment. As Hawk kept talking, I took a look around, finding Kasumi disabling the electrical grid to the vault's door. I slowly shadowed her, tapping her twice on her fingers. I have the password and knocked out the guards in the security room, but I think we should pick up the pace. I don't know how long it will take for the guards to find out something is wrong. I whispered. She gave a small nod, turning off her Omni tool, having enough of Hawk's voice to accurately synthesize his voice. Walking back to the vault entrance, we waited for Shepard to show back up. That's two, Kasumi sighed. No, all we need is to find some of Hawk's DNA. I doubt I can silently chop off a finger. I huffed. As fun as that would be, we can find some in his bedroom. All we need is access. Kasumi muttered. Go around? Shepard asked. I shook my head. Too many guards. I already messed with the cameras. If people start going missing, shit's going to hit the fan. How many mercs are guarding Hawk's private quarters? One. Hawk didn't want to look scared in front of his guests. Kasumi answered. What are we getting access to? I asked. I found over a dozen passcodes. I sent the codes through email. Op. This one. Code Flander. Suit guard doing a patrol. Shepard pointed out. What if they ask for identification? Kasumi asked. We have, Chief Rowe, give us clearance. I smirked, sending Kasumi a copy of Rowe yelling at Wilson, which she smirked too. Getting Shepard and Kasumi past the single guard was simple. The code along with the fake order from Rowe let us into Hawk's private quarters. Stepping into the room, I checked for any camera or microphone before decloaking. We're clear. It seems like Hawk liked his privacy. We began searching his room. Finding the DNA wasn't too hard. We also robbed his small wall safe, for a cool 60,000 creds. Getting back to the vault door took some time. I may have made Shepard's suit too well. There was a lot of pompous laughter, fake jokes, and promises to keep in touch no one meant. You took your time. Kasumi smirked. She was already dressed in her stealth suit. She morphed my armor into a skin-tight exo-skin for extra protection. My tailor made me a suit that caught everyone's eye. He huffed, taking his armor from me. Just like Kasumi's outfit, Shepard's suit morphed into an exo-skin. We'll be swimming in money in no time. I teased. You're already swimming in money. He huffed, strapping on his armor. Yes, but I wanna drown in it. We ready? I asked, getting a nod from both of them, before I pressed the only other button in the elevator. Oh, for the love of. The elevator took 5 minutes for us to reach the bottom floor. That sucked. Yeah, I've been spoiled by the elevators on the Normandy. Kasumi whined. Whoa, Hawk's vault was huge. Sure, you get to see it in the game, but seeing it in real life is something else. How the hell did Hawk steal Lady Liberty's head? Damn you, Hawk, damn you straight to hell. Getting a quick layout of the room, I found an emergency exit at the far end of the room under the head of Lady Liberty. The rest of the room was dozens of aisles of valuable artifacts. The British Museum would huff in envy and pride at all the historical artifacts hidden away in here. There was the original Michelangelo's David, Turian art, Asari and Hannah stuff. There were hundreds of things in here. In the game, There were a dozen, maybe two. Shepard, we're looting all of this, right? I'm rather confident that if we pick up anything, some alarm is going to sound out. We should find the gray box before we touch anything, he ordered. My observation skill was going crazy. Most of this stuff was worth a fortune. I passed a stone table. Ancient Quarian tablet. A limestone tablet carved in ancient Kalish that talks about the hero Caesarcase and his journey to find the land of hope. New quest. Let me read you a story. Much of the Quarians' history has been lost after the Morning War. Find and deliver the stone tablets to the Quarian people. 0/5 of a stone tablets. Warning. All tablets are within this room. Leaving without them will scatter the tablets throughout the galaxy. Reward. Friendly with the Quarian people, 50,000 express, 1 gold loot box, 30,000 credits, 1 gacha token. Fuck, a fetch quest. I'm just going to have all the golems I have, shove things into their expanded chests. I found it, Kasumi called out. She was standing in front of a work desk under the gaze of Lady Liberty. I'm going to have to steal that too. And guns. She started downloading the gray box's data as we got there. Unlike in the game, there was no giant holographic floating Wizard of Oz head. Got it. Can you check it? I don't like the quiet, I muttered, paranoia creeping up into my mind. She paused and looked through her gray box. It looks like everything is here. Danger. Above. I quickly grabbed Shepard and Kasumi and jumped away, as twin laser beams shot out of Lady Liberty's eyes, striking the spot we were just at. Holy shit, I screamed as I dodged lasers and jumped into the maze of priceless artifacts and art pieces, causing the lasers to stop firing. Kasumi, is Hawk a crazy cartoon supervillain? I asked, shoving things into my inventory. Ah, it looks like it. I thought he was just a rich asshole, I swear. She huffed. Are you stealing things? At a time like this? You're one to talk, I huffed, as she was also shoving things into her pockets. I can only take small things, you have your own pocket dimension, it's not the same. She hissed. Give me a bag of holding, she ordered. Not even a please. I huffed but passed her one anyway. I could only shove so many things at once. She then shoved an entire shelf in the bag by accident, giving the head a clear look at us. Danger. Yes, I see it. Grabbing my two would-be partners and jumping behind another shelf, dodging a laser beam. What the hell was that? I screamed. Don't you scream at me, you idiot. I have no idea how this thing works. Kasumi countered. It works with intent. The shelf was less than 100 feet and weighed less than 3 tons. So the bag just sucked it up. I explained. She just looked at the bag in awe. And you didn't give me one sooner, she hissed, pinching my cheeks. Don't you try and make this my fault, I hissed back, pinching her cheeks. Hey, focus, we have the head of freedom shooting laser beams at us, Shepard ordered. That's probably the most American thing I have ever heard, Kasumi joked. We won't be in trouble if we destroy it, will we? Isn't this thing some kind of ancient artifact? I asked, pulling out my Gauss rifle. Try and aim for the eyes, he ordered, popping behind cover and shooting the head in the eye, causing sparks to fly. Nice shot, I screamed, taking a shot missing by a hair. The head then began to float in the air. What the damn hell? It must have some kind of Mass Effect engine removing its weight and allowing it to move. Kasumi explained. That's a load of hogwash, I whined, shoving more things into my inventory. Did you really think you could just rob me? The head screamed in Hawk's voice. Yeah, kinda, I huffed. What gave us away? I know it's not the time, but I'd like to think we did a pretty good job sneaking in here. The vault's floor is a pressure plate. The moment you walked in here I got an alert. He laughed. I must admit the way you got in here was amazing. I didn't suspect a thing. 1 minute I was talking to Mr. Gunn, and the next thing I knew you were robbing me. I can only guess you are Muz Go-To, or should I call you, Little Bird? Hawk laughed. A look of rage etched itself on Kasumi's usually smirking face. He dies, was the only thing she said. Now, as much as I loved this little distraction, I have a party to get back to, And thanks to you Ms. Goto, I can now use your grey box to unlock all your little boyfriend's secrets. I couldn't ask for a better birthday present. Gods, he's annoying. I peeked from cover. Lady Liberty's head. Durability 749 4/1000. Weakness. Brittle. Fractured metal. Weathered. The Statue of Liberty was the target of several terrorist attacks over its 210-year lifetime, but in 2096, a motley group called Freedom's First finally brought the statue down. Protesting the induction of Canada and Mexico into the United North American States, the New York chapter of Freedom's First wanted a symbol that they would secede from this new union if necessary. Okay, that only tells me the shell's durability, that isn't going to work, so I just placed True Strike on the head's guns, taking a shot. My bullet curved and shot it right in the eye. You're very annoying, he growled. Ah, Dalatras Linron, it brings me great joy to see you arrive. Mother F you, are you still at your party? I screamed, the nerve of this guy, putting us behind in his lists of party priorities. Ro, I have some guests in the lower levels, can you take care of them, and don't break anything, or I'm selling your men. Hawk warned. You can count on me, Mr. Hawk. Ro's voice came over the comms. So, you're the vermin causing all the trouble. The head's mouth swung open, and a large rotary gun popped out. That's so stupid, I sighed, taking more shots at the head before I dashed away. Ro didn't give a flying flip about any of the stuff in the room, forcing me to loot and run. Have you lost your mind? You're destroying the loot. All I see is a bunch of thieves wrecking up the place. She laughed. Yeah, she was bananas. The gun exploded thanks to Shepard's and Kasumi's combined onslaught. Delta Team, where the hell are you? The head powered down, letting gravity take hold and fall to the floor. The hell, that's it, 3 guns and it's just a floating rock, I asked. Are you complaining? Shepard asked. I'm just saying, if you're going to disfigure a country's most powerful symbol of freedom, I would think they would do more. I shrugged, shoving more things into my inventory. Not all of us have magic, Nick. Just putting an engine to get it to lift was mind-blowing. Shepard huffed, keeping an eye on the exit. And the fact it didn't just bounce around the room must mean that the hardware must be advanced. Kasumi huffed. Can you steal the head? She asked, shoving another shelf into her bag. That's a good question. Quickly dashing over to the head, grabbing it, popping out of existence. This is my most powerful ability I have, isn't it? I muttered to myself. You know, I've had my power for over 3 years now, and haven't really put it through its paces. Sure, I put some big stuff in my inventory, but that's if that piece is destroyed. My power treats it like loot. I've never just shoved a full house into my inventory. Would that even work? Can I just shove Mother Base into my inventory? Would that mess with my powers? You know what, these are questions for later. We need to leave, Shepard called out. Whoa, hold on, we're like 10% of the way through this. I counted, putting another stone tablet into my inventory. We don't have the time. I summoned every golem I had, earth, cement, stone, and steel, all rounding up to about 2,000, before ordering them to put down any armed merc heading this way. I'll make time. I tossed him a bag. If we leave this stuff here, most of it will be lost somewhere, most likely stolen. If you feel bad, we could just give it to Anderson and he could use it to gain goodwill with other races, getting them to join our bandwagon. Hey, I found one of your old ship models. Kasumi called out to, holding up a burnt-up ship, Shepard's initials painted on the side. Take everything, he hissed, joining us by shoving things into his bag. Every time the bag would fill, I would take it and give them another. Any large sculpture was left for me. It took another 30 minutes, but we got everything that wasn't nailed down. There was a hell of a firefight on the other side of the door. I had no doubt it was crazy cinematic, filled with desperate mercs fighting a flood of golems trying to make every shot count. But unlike fleshy mortals that stop moving after being shot, golems were made of hard metal, dirt, and magic, and shooting with something that meant to pierce wasn't going to stop them. You needed stopping power. Hammers, swords, magic, bombs, shit, your fist would do a better job than a bullet the size of a grain of sand. So, it wasn't much of a surprise that we found dozens of mercs either unconscious with broken bones or dead from sword strikes. Oof. A lot more guys than I thought here be. We walked past the injured and the dead. We would occasionally walk through a broken section of a wall. Hey, should I take these tanks? I asked. They're Macos and we don't really need them, Shepard pointed out. We probably don't need all those mechs I looted either, but if we have it, he doesn't. Besides, he lives on an island. What is he going to do, take it out for a ride? It's a tank. I placed it in my inventory. I've been taking everything not nailed down, and some things that were nailed down, I just plucked them from the floor and walls. Hawk also just had barrels of fuel everywhere, which can't be normal. Sure, they're in his underground base, but be responsible, man, that shit's dangerous. I just feel that at this point you're just taking things, he pointed out, checking his corners. I understood the vault, but now you're just grabbing things. I kinda am. It comes with being an adventurer. Money doesn't grow on trees, and most military powers are willing to buy pre-made weapons because they tend to cost less than making them. And I'm confident that we are going to need every single weapon we can get our hands on. I have a deal with Anderson, saying that the Alliance gets first pick on used weapons, and he told me that as long as I'm with you, my goods are good. I also want to buy a fighter ship, I pointed out. A fighter? Shepard asked. Yep, I need to test the hyperspace engine, and I seriously doubt Edie's going to let us test it on the Normandy, I pointed out. I wouldn't be happy with it either, you know, he drawled. I shrugged. Yeah, but I'm not slapping a hyperspace engine on your back and launching you into the great unknown. Besides, spaceships are cool. You don't think Hawk has his own ship? Kasumi asked. Maybe, but we can't be here all day busting down doors until we find them. I sighed before we heard an explosion up ahead. Rushing forward, we found Ro shooting a rocket launcher into a group of my Earth golems. You know the fun thing about my Earth golems, they're made of earth. I stamped my foot and earth bent the remains of my golems into a huge pile, creating another golem nearly 10 feet tall and built like a boulder, rushing forward chasing the retreating mercs. You know, sometimes I don't see it because you tend to be a bit of a goof, but you can be really scary sometimes, Kasumi muttered. Thanks, I smiled. We followed the golem's march of destruction. For another 10 minutes we walked through the underground hideout, finally reaching some kind of cave hangar bay with a waterfall entrance filled with gunships, Macos, and... Hey, look, a ship, I pointed out. Looks like I'm not going to waste any money. Really, you just looted enough treasure to buy a moon and you're still acting like a miser? Kasumi asked. True, but Shepard's a do-gooder and is going to make us return most of it. That one looks fancy. I pointed to a slick two-sitter with big oil, thrusters and a long nose. It almost looked like an X-Wing if it hit the gym. Shepard actually let out a gasp. That's a Puma X7. I looked over to Kasumi, who just shrugged. Ah, cool. You don't understand. The X7 is where we got the modern F-61 Trident fighter. He was touching it in a way that made me a bit uncomfortable. There were only 150 of them made. They were too expensive, the armor too thick, the engine was experimental, and the shields were way too powerful for a ship this size. I only got to see one in a museum in Arcturus Station. So, we're taking it, right? I asked. Joker would fly us into a star if we don't, he answered before I stored it in my inventory. Are you finished poking through my home? Hawk's voice came over the intercoms. Not really. I'm still planning on looting everything in here, and you know. Kill you, I shrugged. Why wait? Danger, above. Grabbing my partners, I jumped away as a huge robot fell from a trapdoor overhead. I'm here now. It looked like a feckin' Metal Gear, bipedal, huge shoulder rockets, gun hands, with a visible cockpit on its chest with Hawk in the pilot's chair with Ro behind him in the co-pilot's chair. Alpha Thunderstrike R84. Durability 6000 and 6000ths. The first fully tested mech that Donovan Hawk commissioned to sell to the highest bidder. It has everything a mobile dealer of death needs to get the message across, standing at 30 feet, with over 100 homing rockets, heavy machine guns, grizzly cannons for arms, and a self-repair system. Buy yours today. John, that's a giant robot, I pointed out. Yep, he sighed. I'm gonna need you to run some interference. Kasumi, you ever shot a Mako? He nodded to the tank. I'm a fast learner. I left him to that. I had my own job to do. Dashing up into the air, I shot a fireball right at the cockpit, but a shield came to life, dissipating it. I seriously doubt that would do anything, but it did get Hawk's attention, giving my tiny earth golems the chance to attack his shins. Every little thing counts. I don't know who you are, but I'm going to have fun dissecting you. I wanna learn how you do all your fancy tricks. Is it tech? Maybe you're just a rogue experiment. I can't wait to find out. He taunted. Why don't you come over here and find out? I quickly changed into my prime suit, coming face to face with a surprised Hawk. His shock didn't last long as he started shooting rockets at me. I really hope this place was reinforced. While Hawk had weaponry, he didn't have mobility. I stuck to hit and run tactics, launching magic missiles, fireballs, and just about everything I could get my hands on. But Hawk didn't skimp on his armor and shields. He just swallowed any damage I did before he unleashed a hail of rocket and machine gun fire, forcing me to dodge. I must admit your power armor is impressive. Tell me, how much did it cost you? He asked, trying to shoot me with tank rounds. Made it myself. Nothing feels better than when something you made comes to life. I answered. Flicking my wrist popped a blade out of my arm. Hawk started unleashing a barrage of gunfire at me. His bot didn't have much in hand-to-hand combat, so keeping me away was a wise choice, unfortunately for him. Boom! I wasn't alone. Hawk stumbled forward, looking ready to topple over, but was able to correct himself as a hail of machine gun fire peppered his mech. A Mako came flying out of the air, doing some crazy maneuvers I didn't think a tank could do. Taking advantage of the chaos, I dashed forward, stabbing into one of the shoulder rockets and ripping it off the mech before jumping away. Rah! Hawk roared, swinging back, trying to smack me with his arm cannons, but I was already dashing away. It didn't stop him from trying to shoot me. You damn vermin! You come to my house, destroy my base, steal my things, and you think you're going to make a fool out of me? This guy really liked the sound of his own voice. Die! He screamed, as the mech's armor popped open with dozens of rockets and guns popping out of new crevices. Oh damn, I muttered. Danger. I started using my dex to full effect, dodging most rockets, but the gunfire was too much, taking small rounds. Luckily, I had shields of my own. Using the remains of some of my shattered earth golems, I earth-bent all the rocks and dirt into his gun barrels, just trying to clog them. I would have used more earth-bending, but everything was covered in steel, and I was afraid everything that wasn't was important, so playing with it wasn't a good idea. I need to learn metal bending. Repairing. Give us a second. Shepard called over the comms as his Mako was hidden behind some turned-over junk, cars, and debris. Focusing on the earth in its pipes, I bent the gun barrels out of place. It wasn't a lot, but enough to force you to shoot from the hip. Bloody thieves! Hawk roared, rushing me, forcing me to drop my blade and grapple him. It felt like I was wrestling a bull. I'll grind your bones to dust and sell them to Vorcha as magic pills. Shut up already. Using my haki, I stood my ground and twisted so I slammed him into the ground face first, before I jumped on his back and started unleashing blows on his back. I was actually looking for an exhaust port. No matter how advanced something is, it has to vent heat in some way. Breaking that would ruin your day. He seemed to agree because he activated a pair of rocket thrusters, launching us into the ceiling. Outer shields shattered 0.100ths. Mid shields shattered 0.250ths. Inner shields 255 Ow, I'm happy to see my shimmering shield working wonders. Hawk then released the thrusters, letting us fall, trying to twist around, trying to squash me again. Nope. I swung my giant metal boot in the thruster, causing us to spin out of control. I let go before we hit the ground, but it still shattered my inner shield, leaving me with my prime suit's built-in shield and armor. Danger. Looking over, I spotted the mech flying right at me going for that headbutt. Thankfully, Shepard came riding in with a tank round right to the mech's shoulder, knocking it off course into a wall. Dashing forward, I drop-kicked it in the chest cockpit, causing sparks and random guns to fire. Gods damn it, this thing is tough. Suddenly the mech lit up before unleashing an EMP as its shield fell, causing my systems to go haywire for a moment, forcing me to switch to manual power, meaning I was feeding my suit my own magic. I sure as hell wasn't going to be doing much. My controls are shot. I can't move, Shepard called out. He, you really gave me some trouble there, little bird. Hawk chuckled, but it looks like I won. The mech began to rise. Kasumi, is the cannon working? I asked. One shot, but I'm not in a good spot and the barrel can't move. Be ready, I got one shot at this before I run dry, I ordered, reaching over and lifting the Mako and shoving its cannon in Hawk's cockpit. What? Even from where I was, I could see his shocked face. I'm a fucking falcon, you rat fuck. Kasumi roared, shooting right into the cockpit, causing it to explode and launching us away. Mana crash. Wait time 1500 minutes. Mana resilience activated. Wait time 0 seconds. Due to your hard work and effort, you have gained a new skill. Improvised weaponry mastery. He killed 3 men. With a fucking pencil. Fists, swords, guns. That's a bit mundane, don't you think? Now a cup. That's a real weapon. Plus 5% damage with improvised weapons. You are unskilled. Rank initiative. Holy shit. I coughed, storing my prime suit away, allowing my armor and natural MP regen to rapidly refuel. Thank you MP runes. Before I slowly got up, I walked over to the Mako and pried the hatch off. How you guys doing? I asked. Shepard flipped us while I was shooting. How do you think I'm feeling? Kasumi huffed, and I healed and helped her out. Them some crazy moves, Commander. I teased as I pulled him out of the tank, healing his busted shoulder. N7 school only took the best, he muttered, taking out his pistol and aiming at the wreckage. Is he dead? Shepard asked. Not sure, but we should double tap, I answered, following his lead. Everything was a wreck, and that wreck was on fire. Checking my notifications, I didn't get one for killing Hawk. Whether it was because I didn't take the shot or because he was still alive wasn't clear. I began dousing the flames with my use of create water. It took a moment, but we came face to face with a very sweaty, huffing Ro holding up a biotic field, saving her and Hawk from a fiery doom. Too bad he got pinned in his chair. Parley, Hawk muttered, tired and in pain. I shoved my left hand into the biotic field. It stung and sapped some HP, but I could live with that as I started filling the sphere with water. I heard drowning is the worst way to die. I huffed, the water was already at his knees. You can't do this. Do you know who I am? Hawk screamed. Shrugging. A corpse, I answered. I know people, dangerous people. If I die, they'll come after you. He buffed. You don't even know who I am. I laughed. But I know her. He pointed at Kasumi. That got an even bigger laugh out of me. You don't even know who that is either. You don't know a single goddamn thing. I stopped the water at his neck, looking over to Shepard for orders. Mr. Gunn, I believe Mr. Hawk has been a rather ungracious host. How do you wish to handle this? I can make you rich. Money, power, women. Just let me go, Hawk begged. Shepard didn't say anything, just looked over to Kasumi. 3 months, Hawk. I dreamed of this moment. I could still see Kenji's face as you stabbed him. She looked over to me. Please lower this shield. Reaching into my inventory with my left hand, I summoned a pistol. Much to Ro's shock, she didn't get say anything before her head exploded into a shower of blood, letting the water free, drenching my armor. But that's okay, that's what runes are for. I waved away the pain of my hand being slightly cooked. 3 months, what was so goddamn important that you got your own hands dirty? You know what, I don't care. She pulled out her pistol and shot him in the face, once, twice, thrice, and another 17 more times until her pistol needed to vent. Can we leave? She muttered. I brought her into a side hug and followed Shepard's lead. With the party still going, the RR guns were offline, so getting a pickup wasn't hard. I wonder what people would think after they find out their host is dead. Probably nothing. Most of them are the trash of the galaxy that became rich from the suffering of others. They might even party harder. One of their major competitors just died. Quest completed. No, Mr. Gunn, I expect you to die. Kasumi has asked you for your help retrieving her friend's gray box from his killer Donovan Hock. Black tie optional. Reward, 50,000 credits, 50,000 express, 1 gold loot box, 1 gacha token, and friendly with Kasumi go to. // Kasumi POV. The Kodiak was quieter than I would like. Killing Hock wasn't necessary, but damn did it feel good. That stupid face he made before he died made my day. Are you going to be okay? Nick asked, sitting across from me. I was holding on tightly to KG's gray box. Nick, if one of the girls died, and you had one more chance to see them, to hold them, would you, even knowing that it wasn't real? I asked. He gave me a long look. I don't know, but I do know that my anger and rage will blot out the stars. I would kill everyone and everything that led to their death. I think I would beg for forgiveness, but I would know the truth. It would only be a crutch. It would blind me to everything around me, and that wouldn't be fair to my other loved ones or myself. We can't live in a dream, no matter how beautiful, but if it's just for a moment, to apologize, to say goodbye. Yeah, I would take it. He sighed, leaning back onto his seat. But to be honest, I wouldn't know until I'm in that moment. He got up and plastered his rump next to me, draping his arm on the back of my chair, bringing me a bit of his warmth. But, as long as I have some friends, I know I could move past it, right, John? Shepard sat to my left. That's how I got past my dad dying. We're not going anywhere. God, does the Alliance teach their soldiers to be that sappy? I quickly wiped away my tears. I stood up and looked at KG's gray box before activating it. The room around me faded to black before only KG appeared before me. Even as a hologram he was handsome. The Alliance knows how to make their soldiers look good. Kasumi, my little bird, I am so sorry. I went in too deep and learned something I shouldn't have. If you're watching this, one of two things must have happened. Either you've finally got sick of me eating all your ramen noodles and hacked my brain for their whereabouts. Don't try and make me laugh, you idiot. I wiped away more tears. Stupid idiot. If not, then I wasn't good enough at hiding myself away. Kasumi, I love you so much. I know this might be tough and unfair of me to ask, but you must delete everything in my gray box. Damn it, damn it, damn it. My knees went limp, but a pair of hands caught me before I hit the ground. Kasumi, please don't hold on to my gray box. Then what the hell am I supposed to hang on to? My world is falling apart. People would kill you for it. Please, don't make me the reason you're hunted, please. I just held on to the person holding me. I couldn't stop sobbing. Aren't I supposed to be some master thief? Getting better control of myself, I took a look around. There were hundreds of memories of our time together, from Ilium to Earth. Some I didn't know about, like his time in the Alliance, and others where he was playing with my hair as I slept. I then looked back to the hologram of KG. He looked so sad. I wanted to reach out and pinch his cheeks, to tell him everything was going to be okay. Deactivating the gray box, I found Nick right next to me with Shepard not too far away. I guess my fall had him a little worried. I'm okay. My broken voice didn't make it better. Kasumi. Nick stepped forward, but I patted his chest, stopping him cold. I'm a big girl. I smiled up at him. Don't look down on me. A handkerchief appeared in his hand, passing it to me. I would never. I'm sure you'll rob me blind the moment I do. He teased. I chuckled a bit. And don't you ever forget it. I tapped his chest, before focusing back on the gray box in my hand. You don't have to do it now if you don't want to. Shepard offered. I shook my head. No, if I don't do it now, I doubt I'll ever do it. It was so heavy. How can I walk around this something so heavy in my own head? An icon appeared above it that only I could see. Delete. Y. N. Pressing yes, the grey box sparked and gave out smoke. It was hot and burned my hand, but I couldn't let go. Every part of me screamed, regretting my action, but I had to. I can't keep him prisoner. Nick's large arm covered mine before Shepard joined. What are we, a little league team? I wiped away some more tears. John, I am loving this team thing, but I was removing the burning hot tech from burning her more. Nick apologized. Oh, oops. I couldn't hold it in and started laughing through the pain. I'm in a crew of idiots. I cheered, allowing Nick to take the grey box. Hey, we're legendary idiots, Shepard countered. I think I'm going to pass out from laughter. N. This chapter got away from me. I had a story web and everything, but I watched some Lupin the Third to get in the heisting mood, but that somehow led to robots. Still, I felt like it came out okay. Maybe, I guess that's more for others to decide. Okay. I tried to make the economy equal. Somehow it didn't help that everything had some sort of strange inflation between games and universes, but I'd like to think I did. Okay, not great, but I'm not a math major. I put Leoviel as a character. It kinda sucked that all you could do was help her from racists and then throw her back into the streets. I also wanted someone from the Quarian fleet to react to Tali. In the game, Tali was an admiral's daughter, hero of the Citadel, commander of Marines, master engineer, and a Geth killing machine. Tali is the commander Shepard of the Quarian fleet. She even became an admiral in the third game that just seemed to be skipped. Alright, Morden, Kasumi, and Zaid's loyalty missions are over with. I'm probably going for Thane and Samara next as long as I don't get too distracted. I'm playing the trilogy again to see if I'm missing anything and looking into the wiki for obscure knowledge I may have missed. As always, sorry for any grammar mistakes, and review, if you feel like it. I also have a DeviantArt page where I make art of my fanfic, link in bio.